Merced, California, and your Post 22 Hard Hats. With that being said, we say good evening and we welcome you inside Rooney's Quarter here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. Post 22 took a dominating 15-0 win against the Missoula Mavericks last night in their first game off the 5-inning no-hitter of Dylan Ritchie. And now shift gears to take on Merced, California. Merced comes into this tournament 0-1. They lost yesterday in a nail-biter to the Rocky Mountain Lobos by a 7-6 score. Earlier today, Terre Haute, Indiana continued their undefeated stay in the tournament so far. That is on the line tomorrow night when they take the Hard Hats on. They defeated the Missoula Mavericks today by a 10-8 final. However, Rocky Mountain and Premier West played shortly after them in the 3 o'clock game, and that game got postponed. I talked with Coach Torvey of the Post 22 Hard Hats, and I asked him what's the contingency plan for something like that, and he said that tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., Rocky Mountain and Premier West will play a 7-inning game. It was unfortunate because Rocky Mountain and Premier West, they were not even a third of an inning into their game. They were in the top of the first. 1 out was registered, and then that's when the heavens opened up. They decided to delay the game, and then they ended up calling it because they didn't want to miss out on the Hard Hats and the Merced Volunteers. So tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., they will play in a 7-inning game. It'll be the only 7-inning game of regulation at this point. And then every other game will go 9 innings from there on out unless something else changes there. Post 22 comes in 1-0. They got the win against the Mavericks last night, 15-0 on Dylan Ritchie's no-hitter. Merced, California looking for their first win. The tournament standings start as follows. Terre Haute is in the driver's seat right now with a 2-0 record, and they will take on the Hard Hats in tomorrow night's slate of action. The Hard Hats and Rocky Mountain are both 1-0, but again, Hard Hats still have to play tonight. Rocky Mountain still has to finish their game that was supposed to start today and then play their regularly scheduled game tomorrow. Merced, California is 0-1. Premier West is 0-1, and again, they have to continue tomorrow morning. And the Missoula Mavericks have started off with an 0-2 showing here at the Firecracker Tournament, in which they have allowed 25 runs and only scored 8 in their 2 games. So that's how the standings for the tournament stand. Post 22 gearing up in just a few moments for their game to begin. They're taking their warm-up striders. I think both teams have foregone the infield-outfield warm-up, which is an interesting take, really, when you look at it, because, again, with all the rain, they had to tarp. The grass is soggy. The infield dirt, obviously not as well manicured as it normally is, just because of all the elements and the new dirt put out there to try and balance out how many patches of water there were. You'd want to get a feel for the ball on the infield, so it'll be interesting to see how this game goes, just given the aftermath of what the elements have presented us here. But it should be a great game of baseball nonetheless. When I first saw who was coming out to play in this tournament, I thought to myself that this would be one of the marquee matchups of the tournament. It turns out that tomorrow night, if the Hard Hats win, that's the only other undefeated game that we're going to have in this tournament. So that'll be interesting to see what happens tonight. If the Hard Hats go 2-0, then tomorrow night becomes the premier showdown because it's for real dominance through 3 games of round-robin play. But Merced is a very gifted team. Coach Messer, Mitch Messer, the former coach and general manager of the Hard Hats, used to bring Merced, California out to this Firecracker tournament because he just loved how much they competed and how great a team they were. They'd finished very well in the Pacific region for American Legion postseason play. So obviously this is a team that can see success and has seen success. So it should be a great test for this Hard Hats club. Well, unless anybody tells me anything different, we're going to play a 9-inning game here. And so let's give you the starting lineups for this 9-inning matchup. Merced's going to bat in the top halves of our 9 innings of regulation. Their lineup is as follows. Leading off is number 9, Jack Solis. He's out at second base. Batting second is number 12, Chris Witt, and he's out in right field. Batting third is number 6, Petey Miner. He's patrolling center field. And in the cleanup position is number 20, Daniel Beard. He is in the hot corner at third base. Batting fifth is number 10, Joe Flores. He's out patrolling left field. Batting sixth is number 15, Caden Floro. He's the designated hitter. Batting seventh is number 17, Daniel Uresti. He's out at first base. Batting eighth is number 5, Grant Deal. He's the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot is number 1, Robert White. and he is at the shortstop position. On the mound for Merced is number 7, Clayton Hall, and he will take on the Hardhats batting order as follows in the bottom halves of our 9 innings of regulation tonight. Leading off is number 13, Connor King, and he's patrolling center field. Batting second is number 10, Ryan Bachman. He's in the hot corner at third base. Batting third, number 22, Cooper Bowman. He's out at the shortstop position. And in cleanup is number 23, Jack Sorensen, and tonight he will serve as the designated hitter for the Hardhats. Batting fifth is number 30, Chase Caldwell. Last night was the DH. Now will play first base tonight. Batting sixth is number 20, Holden Jackson, and he is patrolling left field. Batting seventh is number 15, Zach Sumption, patrolling right field. Batting eighth is number 25, Ryan Schmidt, the backstopper and catcher. And rounding out the batting order in the 9th spot for the Hardhats is number 12, Mason Messenger, and he's out at second base. On the mound tonight for the Hardhats is the lefty, Zach Cholis. Cholis, a great season for him so far, comes in for his 9th appearance of the year and his 8th by virtue of a start. He has a 3-1 record under his belt with 27 2/3 innings of work completed this season, a 2.28 ERA with 39 strikeouts to 20 walks on the season. He's allowed 14 hits, 12 runs, only 9 of them are earned, and he's also hit 3 batsmen as well. Zach's last couple of performances have been pretty good for this Hardhats club. Just taking a look at his past history here. He last played against the Sheridan Troopers, and he only pitched 1 inning of relief, but he didn't allow anything to happen in that 1 inning. Prior to that, he played against the Renner Royals in the Creighton Prep Tournament, and he went 3 2/3 innings getting the start. He allowed 3 runs that were earned. He struck out 3, but walked 3 as well on 4 hits. Before that, he played against the Billings Royals here in Rapid City and was just unbelievable. 4 innings in the start, and he got the win on top of that. 4 strikeouts to 3 walks, and he only allowed 2 runs on 4 hits in his 4 innings. Zach is a very efficient pitcher, and that's exactly what Coach Torvey and company are looking for as the Hardhats take on Merced, California tonight. The amateur meteorology report gives you a 59-degree temperature outside. It is overcast skies, and I haven't had a look at the Doppler radar yet to see if there's another cell coming in, but it seems like these last 2 days of the firecracker that the Hardhats have just been battling the elements. Every team in this tournament has had to battle the elements. Speaking with Coach Torvey earlier today, and he said one of the parents has never seen the Black Hills this green at this time of year. And look, I've only been here for 5 years, but I think I can attest to that, to be honest. And this is by far the rainiest firecracker that we've had in my 4 years of working with Post 22 baseball. So it'll be interesting to see how the elements continue, not even just through tonight, but the rest of the tournament, if this is supposed to be a recurring theme for the first days of July. Hard to believe today is June 30th, and July starts tomorrow, but that is exactly what we have here. So it'll be interesting to see how all that plays out tonight. Well, the Hardhats are giving their fist bump, shaking hands, and they're lining up on their respective baseline. They're almost through the order. We will have the pregame festivities taking place shortly. In a few moments, we'll have the performance of the United States National Anthem. We'll be all ready for first pitch for matchup number 2 of the 2018 43rd Annual Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World in just a few moments. We'll be right back, folks, with first pitch between Merced and the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Well, we have our ceremonial first pitch going on right now on the field at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium, which means that we are just moments away from first pitch, our second game of round-robin action here in the 43rd Annual Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World. Mark Benetti alongside you in the broadcast booth here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM as we gear up for this matchup between the Merced Volunteers out of Merced, California, and your Post 22 Hard Hats. Mayor Allender, one of the three gentlemen throwing out the first pitch tonight to get our game ready to rock and roll. And we also have a special pregame ceremony involving the dedication of the field here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium to the late former coach of Post 22 Hard Hats baseball, Dave Plouffe, and Coach Plouffe's wife, Patty, now coming out to home plate to the head coach, Kelvin Torvey, who is helping her along to the pitcher's mound as we get set to conclude our pregame festivities with such a special moment. Let's listen in.
Part of the reason why we're all here tonight, part of the reason why the best competition from around our great nation comes to play this great game we call baseball here at the Fitz. And we are here tonight to dedicate this field to the longtime coach of Post 22, Mr. Dave Plouffe, who proudly designed the Firecracker Classic Baseball Tournament 43 years ago. If you would give us just a minute to remember a great man and a short story of him who brought Post 22 to us. You see, on October 7th, 1936, nobody knew a star would be born. But on that day, Dave Plouffe arrived on this earth in Rochester, Minnesota. The youngest child of the family, he was always proud to call Austin, Minnesota his hometown. Dave graduated from Austin High School where he lettered in football, basketball, and baseball. After graduating from Mankato State with a Bachelor of Business of Science degree in business education, he taught for 2 years in Jasper, Minnesota, where he also served in the Minnesota Army National Guard. In 1963, Dave moved to Rapid City and continued teaching business courses at Rapid City Central High School for 36 years. He especially loved teaching business law classes because he felt it important for the future of his students. For 25 years, he coached the Cobbler Wrestling program, and in the 47 years he coached Post 22 baseball, Dave accomplished 37 state titles, 18 consecutively from 1970 to 1987, 8 regional championships, and 1 national championship in 1993. Folks, it's now put in history on June 30th, 2018. This beautiful field in front of you has now been dedicated to our longtime coach, Dave Plouffe.
What a great dedication that turned out to be. Dedicating the field here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium to the memory of the man who made Post 22 baseball what it is, Coach Dave Plouffe. Coach Plouffe actually created the Firecracker Tournament in 1975 and started off with 6 teams, which is highly coincidental that Coach Torvey, coaching in his first Firecracker Tournament, has 6 teams in the field, including his own. And ever since 1975, this team has drawn so much great competition. And that's evidenced over the last couple of years. We've had Excelsior Minnetonka come, Eden Prairie, Millard South, who defeated the Hard Hats in regional play 3 years ago in the championship. If I'm understood correctly, Creighton Prep's come in the past. Merced, California, obviously a frequent flyer. Las Vegas, normally a frequent flyer, the Las Vegas Durango, but unfortunately for them, they were unable to make the tournament this year, so we were without their participation. Missoula Mavericks come every now and then, and Rocky Mountain, they've been a frequent flyer of the tournament as well. So hard to believe. You create something, you never know where it's going to go. And Coach Plouffe 43 years ago creates the Firecracker, and now we're celebrating the 43rd annual Firecracker, and look at where we have come with the tournament. Post 22 now takes their respective defensive positions. Zach Cholis on the mound is throwing his warm-up pitches. Again, to give you a recap on the lefty, this is his 9th appearance of the season, his 8th by virtue of his start. He has a 3-1 record under his belt with a 27 2/3 innings of work completed, a 2.28 ERA with 39 strikeouts to 20 walks on the season. Cholis will take on the top 3 in the Merced Volunteers order. Merced out of Merced, California. That'll be Jack Solis, the second baseman, Chris Witt, the right fielder, and Petey Minor, the center fielder. Defensive alignment for the Hardhats has Cholis and his left arm on the mound paired up with the catcher Ryan Schmidt. At first is Jace Caldwell. At second's Mason Messenger. At shortstop, Cooper Bowman. And in the hot corner at third is Ryan Bachman. Left to right in the outfield, Holden Jackson, Connor King, and Zach Sumption. Tonight's umpires are Robert Bradford on the base path and Clyde Yogi Millslagle behind home plate. Ryan Schmidt and Zach Cholis have their last words of encouragement together. Schmidt takes his position in front of Yogi Millslagle and behind home plate. Both those two gentlemen shake hands and exchange some pleasantries before we are ready to rock and roll. Solis steps in, right-handed batter, up against the lefty and Cholis. And we are officially underway. A first pitch called strike, dealt by Cholis to Solis. Try saying that 5 times fast. No balls and a strike to count here to Solis. And full windup, Cholis deals his 0-1. And that's a fastball low, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. 1-1 the count to Solis. We just started at 7:42. We're not even a full minute into the matchup yet. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's too far inside. Almost hit Solis, and it's 2 balls and a strike now for Cholis on the mound. Post 22, 1-0. Looking to stay undefeated in this tournament. Merced looking for their first win of the tournament. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped foul over the bleachers, first base side. And the count evens up at 2-2 for Cholis, looking for his 40th K of the season. It would put him 6 behind Richie for the team lead. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Cholis deals. Swung on and just fouled into the Merced dugout, and the count will hold at 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Full windup for Cholis. Here's the 2-2 again. Just missed outside on a fastball, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes the count now from Cholis to Solis. And here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on, ball's fouled. We have a battle going on here as we'll see a second payoff pitch dealt to Solis. 8th pitch of the at-bat to start off for Cholis as well. Full windup for the lefty. Payoff number 2. Missed low and away, ball 4, and it's a leadoff walk to start off the competition. As Solis will take a trot down the baseline to first. That'll bring up Chris Witt, the right fielder. He is a left-handed batter, so this is the first lefty-on-lefty matchup we have. Solis takes his lead off of first, and Cholis will pitch from the stretch for the first time tonight. First pitch to the lefty, Witt, is a fastball low for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Witt, who has a man on first and no one out here in a scoreless top half of the first inning. We are playing 9 again tonight. Hopefully the weather holds off and we can get all 9 played. Cholis checks to first. 1-0 pitch. Outside. 2-0. Earlier today, Rocky Mountain and Premier West were supposed to play in a Rocky Mountain showdown, if you will. Both teams representing Colorado. But that game got postponed with just 1 out registered in the top of the first inning. They'll play a 7-inning game tomorrow at 9 in the morning to make up for it. 2-0 pitch from Cholis. Pitch is fouled off, third base side, and out of play. And the count will go now to 2 balls and a strike. Dangerous inning so far for Cholis. He's got quite a high pitch count, so a double play would be perfect right here. He's at 11 right now through 2 batters. He went through 8 in the first at-bat, and it resulted in a walk. There's a 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Nice fastball at the outside corner. 2-2 now to Chris Witt, the first lefty that Cholis has had to face. Granted, only 2 batters, but lefty is at the top third of the order. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and Cholas deals. Swung on, ball's fouled again. And the count will hold even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. As Cholas is about to throw his 14th pitch of the inning, and he still doesn't have an out recorded. Cholas from the stretch, checks to first again. Here's the 2-2, runner goes. It's up high, ball 3. Throw to second is not in time. It looked like a good throw from here, but they called Solis safe at second, so a big stolen base, and now a full count to Witt with a man in scoring position. Cholas could really use an out at the plate here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, a second full count in as many batters, and here's his payoff. Pitch is swung on, ball's hit high in the air to shallow left. Bowman comes in from short, and he makes the catch for out number 1. 1 down for the Hardhats on defense here. That'll bring us to Petey Minor, the center fielder. He comes up with a man on second and 1 out here in the top of a scoreless first inning. Minor, a right-handed batter, goes to step in against the lefty in Cholas. Still no score, but Merced threatening early with a runner in scoring position. Solis leads off a second. Here's the first pitch. That's low and inside, and Schmidt scooped it up 1-0. Petey Minor is the batter with 1 out and a man in scoring position here in the first inning. Started this game 42 minutes late because of weather. Ball and no strikes to count. Cholas from the stretch deals. Swung on and missed a high fastball. And the count evens at a ball and a strike to Minor. One ball, 1 strike. Cholas looks into Schmidt for the sign and agrees on one. Quick look to second. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Pitch is fouled just to the right of our press box over Shep's Peak. Maybe off of Shep's Peak. I heard a thud. 1-2. Ball and 2 strikes to count. Last time there was a 2-strike count, Solis took off. Doubt he'd go from second to third, though. Here is the 1-2 pitch. Swung on and just fouled. Minor just caught a piece of it, and the count will hold at a ball and 2 strikes. The next pitch from Cholas will be number 20 of the inning. He has had to battle early. His first 2 at-bats went a full count, a couple of foul pitches as well. 1-2 again to Minor. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Ball's dropped. Schmidt goes to field it, throw to first in time, and in the sequence moving over to third is Solis. So Solis moves over on the strikeout. But that's Cholas' first strikeout of the game. It gets a key second out, but it advances the runner in the process. That's going to bring us to Daniel Beard, the third baseman. Beard, a right-handed batter. He bats clean up, so this is where you want him. With a man 90 feet to his left in scoring position. And just to trot down the baseline away from giving the Volunteers the first run of the ball game. 2 outs, a man on third. Cholas from the stretch. First pitch. Called strike. Fastball right down the middle at the knees. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count. And the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is chopped to the right side of the infield. Caldwell gets it on the hop. He says, I got it, I'll tag first, and that'll do it. Well, the Hardhats get out of the jam. No runs, no hits, no errors charged, and a man stranded 90 feet from giving us the first run of the ball game. We've played half a frame of baseball. We're still in a scoreless deadlock, and the Hardhats are coming to bat for the first time. We'll take a step aside and come right back with Connor King, Ryan Bachman, and Cooper Bowman to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Well, the Hardhats now transition from defense to offense. And Connor King, Ryan Bachman, and Cooper Bowman are slated to hit now for post 22. They will take their first swings of the evening against the right-handed pitcher, Clayton Hall, here for the Merced Volunteers. Defensive alignment for the Volunteers has Hall and his right arm on the mound paired up with the catcher, Grant Deal. At first is Daniel Uresti. At second is Jack Solis. At shortstop's Robert White. And in the hot corner at third is Daniel Beard. Left to right in the outfield, Joe Flores, Peter Miner, and Chris Witt. Connor King to lead off for post 22. King, the only lefty in the lineup for the Hardhats. And his first pitch is a called strike, a fastball at his knees, 0-1. King comes into the matchup adding .292. 22 singles, 5 doubles, and a triple on the year. Has yet to leave the ballpark, and he looks at a fastball high and away. 1-1 now his count, starting off the bottom half of the first inning. King followed by Bachman and Bowman in that order. 1-1 is way outside. 2-1 now to King. Hall wasting no time on the mound. Gets the sign he likes and goes full windup, and here he is with a 2-1. And that's upstairs again. 3-1 to King. King leads the team with 28 walks on the year. It's a pitch away from number 29. Here's the 3-1. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to shallow left center. Coming in from center is Miner. Over to left field, and he makes the catch for out number 1. One up, one down for the Hardhats, and now that'll bring us to Ryan Bachman, the third baseman. Bachman hasn't hit much with the Hardhats this year, but when he has, he's done fantastic. Bachman batting .387 on the year. Here's his first pitch. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit right over Hall and to second. Solis can't pick it up, and then it trickles by White and into shallow center field. That was a high hop right over the head of the pitcher, and they're going to rule that an error because second base did have a play on the ball and was unable to come up with it. So that's going to be an E4 to allow Bachman to reach safely. So a man on with one out, and that's going to bring up Cooper Bowman. Bowman on the season batting .484. And in the tournament is batting .500. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0. Only one game played in the tournament so far, but nonetheless, a 2-for-4 performance. Nothing to shy away from. Here's the 1-0 from Hall, and that's upstairs again. 2 balls, no strikes. Bachman on first. Reached on the error, charged to the second baseman, Jack Solis. Bachman takes his lead. Here's the 2-0 to Bowman. And that's a called strike, a fastball at his knees. 2-1. Now to the Hardhat shortstop. Scoreless game here in the bottom of the first with 1 on and 1 out. Check to first, and Bachman's back. Still waiting on that fourth pitch to Cooper Bowman. Pitch count could be an early storyline here as Cholis has already thrown 22. Hall about to throw his 10th. 2-1 pitch. Swung on, ball's lined into the gap into right center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. It's going to roll all the way to the warning track. Bowman turns on his afterburners. He was rounding second as the ball was misplayed by Witt in right field. Coming all the way from first to score is Bachman. An RBI triple for Cooper Bowman to start off here in the bottom of the first. And the Hardhats strike first. They have a 1-0 lead. Well, Bowman was immediately looking for 2 bases, and he took a look out to right field. Chris Witt tried to pick it up, and he couldn't get a clean pickup of the ball, which it's not an error. The ball had already stopped its motion at that point, so Bowman rounded second, went for third, and Ryan Bachman, there was no stopping that freight train either. He came home, an RBI triple for Bowman, and the Hardhats strike first with a 1-0 lead. Here comes Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter. A man 90 feet to his left with 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and hit Hardhats up first, 1-0. First pitch is his swing and a miss. 0-1 to Sorensen. Jack Sorensen on the season batting .385. Looking for his second hit of the tournament. He's batting .333. 0-1 pitch is flared off, foul, first base side and in the grandstand. And quickly Sorensen is behind 0-2. Nice catch by a young fan over there, flashing the leather. It's 2 nights in a row we've seen some good defensive play in the crowd. Somebody signed that kid up. No balls, 2 strikes. And Hall deals to Sorensen. Upstairs, 1-2. The high fastball. Sorensen on the year has 35 runs batted in. And with runners in scoring position, batting .385. 1-2 is just fought off foul. And that rolls to the backstop. And the count will hold at a ball and 2 strikes. So a favorable position for Sorensen to be in. One of the more consistent hitters here on the Hard Hats lineup. And he has a chance to make it a 2-0 lead. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And there's the first strikeout for Clayton Hall in this start. 2 down still with Bowman standing on third, and that's going to bring up Jace Caldwell. He's batting .429 with runners in scoring position, and on the season's batting .483. He's batting .426. Here's his first pitch. Swung on and missed. 0-1 to Caldwell. 1-0, the Hard Hats lead. A man 90 feet to the left of Caldwell with 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's low and inside. On a breaking ball, it's 1-1. If Caldwell keeps the inning going, Holden Jackson's on deck. If not, Joe Flores will lead off for Merced in the top of the second. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That's high and outside. 2-1 to Caldwell. First and second are open. Third base occupied by Bowman. Here's a 2-1. Missed low and away on a fastball, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Jace Caldwell. Clayton Hall about to throw his 20th pitch of the inning. Both pitchers up in the 20s to start off. 3-1 pitch, swung on, ball's hit to short. White gets the stop between his legs. Throw to first is barely in time. And it looked like it was going to be over the head of Daniel Uresti, the first baseman. But the out is recorded, and that's going to end the bottom half of the first. Well, the Hard Hats get a run on a hit with an error charged to Merced and a man stranded 90 feet from home. We've played 1 inning of baseball, and the Hard Hats strike first in the ballgame. They have a 1-0 lead over the Merced Volunteers out of Merced, California. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the second. Merced back to the bats here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hard Hats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 strikes early. They have a 1-0 lead over Merced, California here in Game 2, round-robin play of the 2018 Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World. Numbers across the board through just 1 frame of play. For the Hard Hats, it's a run on a hit with no errors. And for Merced, it's no runs on no hits and 1 error under their belt on defense. Joe Flores, the left fielder, Caden Floro, the DH, Daniel Uresti, the first baseman, slated to hit here for the Volunteers in the top of the second. Zach Cholis and his left arm back on the mound. And his first pitch is a called strike on a fastball to the right-handed batter, Joe Flores. 0-1 the count here to Flores. Just starting off the top half of the second inning. Not even 20 minutes into the ball game here. 0-1 pitch. Just missed low and away. And the count will even up to a ball and a strike now for Flores. Post 22 trying to maintain a 1-0 lead early stages of this ball game here against the Volunteers from Merced, California. 1-1 pitch. Just missed low and away again. Awfully close. 2-1 now the count to Flores. 2 balls and a strike. Full windup for the lefty, and Cholas deals. Just missed low and inside. 3 balls and a strike. Cholas got a first pitch strike, and then the next 2 were just a centimeter off. But he was close. Here comes the 3-1. And that's fouled off to the right of my press box. I think it's over Catch 22. And the count goes full. Shameless plug for Catch 22. You can get all your Catch 22 merchandise, or your Post 22 merchandise at Catch 22. It's open for every hard hat game here at the Fitz. Payoff pitch now coming from Cholas. And it's low for ball 4. That's the second walk of the start for Cholas. And 2 innings in a row in this game that he's led off with a base on balls. That'll bring us to Caden Floro, the designated hitter, the second lefty now that Cholas will face. First one was Chris Witt batting in the 2 hole. Floro batting in the 6th spot. Now the second lefty. First pitch. Called strike, a fastball at the knees of Floro. It's 0-1. Bachman over at third is right on the fringe, just in case there's a bunt dropped. If small ball is gone to in the early stages of this ballgame. Check to first is not there in time. Cholas obviously has the easiest pickoff compared to right-handed pitchers. He's looking right at the bag. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, and the ball's fouled to the meshing behind home plate. 0-2 now to Floro. Cholas looking for his second strikeout. It would give him the first out of the top half of the second. Leadoff man on with a walk. And now that man in Flores leads off at first. Cholas takes a quick look. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit right back to Cholas off of his glove when he fell. He gets the throw to first in time for the out. Cholas could have had an insane double play there if he was able to hold on to the ball, but it just went off the end of his glove. He still records the out, though. He had the wherewithal to field the ball, but Flores advances to second in the sequence of events. So it's a man on second again for Merced, the tying run in scoring position, and that's going to bring us to Daniel Uresti, the first baseman. Uresti, our big right-handed batter, batting in the 7 hole, steps in. Cholas looks to second. Lefty deals his first pitch, and that's upstairs for ball 1 on a fastball. 1-0 the count here to Uresti. With a man in scoring position and 1 out here in the top of the second. Hardhats are trying to keep this a 1-0 affair. The tying run in scoring position right now. And here's the 1-0. Swung on, ball's fouled, first base side and just over the grandstand. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Cholas working on his 12th pitch of the inning. It would be number 34 overall. Ball and a strike is count. And the pitch. Called strike on the outside corner by Yogi Milslegel, the umpire. 1-2 now the count to Daniel Uresti. Cholas looks in for a sign, gets it, and looks over to Flores at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and that's outside, 2-2. Fastball just got away from Cholas there, but a nice catch from Schmidt. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Here's the 2-2. That's low and inside. Schmidt the block. And now the count goes full. Big moment here for Cholas. Looking for a key second out at the plate here. If he doesn't get it, it'll be first and second at the minimum with 1 out. Cholas looks to second. And now time's called by Uresti before he can get the payoff pitch off. Full count here to Uresti. Man on second, one out. Here in the top of the second, Hardhats trying to keep a 1-0 lead intact. Here's the payoff pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. There's strikeout number 2 for Zach Cholas. 2 down here in the top of the second with a man on second. That'll bring us to the catcher, Grant Deal. Deal also a right-handed batter. We'll step into the batter's box now that the conference between Schmidt, the catcher, and Cholas, the pitcher, is complete. 2 down as signaled by Yogi Milslegel, the home plate umpire. Flores with the leadoff walk stands on second. Has not been advanced since a grounder. First pitch. Called strike. Fastball at the knees of Deal. It's 0-1. If Deal's the final out, Jackson, Sumption, and Schmidt are slated to hit for the Hardhats. If not, Robert White, the 9-hole hitter, will come up. No balls and a strike the count here to Deal. And Cholas delivers. That's a foul ball. And it skips to the meshing behind home plate. 0-2. The next pitch from Cholas will be number 40 in this start. 18 in the inning. He's looking for his 3rd K in the book. Here comes the 0-2 to Deal. Swung on, and the ball's lined to short by a diving Bowman into left for a base hit. Rounding third and heading home on the play is Flores, and it's over the head of Schmidt. And stopping at second with an RBI is Grant Deal, and we are square at 1 run aside here in the top of the second inning. Deal, the RBI single, he advances to second on the throw. A 2-out RBI hit, and that's going to bring us to Robert White, the shortstop. So we are all square at 1 run aside. And it looks like we're going to get a courtesy runner here because Deal is the catcher. Coming into courtesy run will be Joshua Alarcon. So Alarcon comes into courtesy run. And the first pitch is low and inside to Robert White, 1-0. White, a right-handed batter, plays shortstop for the Volunteers. Steps in with his team now tied at 1, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position. Deal switching places with Flores on second. Cholas looks to second. Here's the 1-0. And that's a fastball upstairs, 2-0. Post 22 and Merced now tied at 1. That's the first hit of the ball game, by the way, for Merced. That's the first hit that the Hardhats have allowed in 7 innings of play in this tournament. Here's a 2-0. Called strike. Fastball at the knees of White. 2-1. That was an 0-2 pitch that he cranked just by a diving Bowman. Here's a 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on a high fastball. 2-2 now, the count from Cholas to White. Two and two as Cholas is looking for his 3rd strikeout and the end of the top half of the second. 2-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air, foul territory, first base side, and it goes just over the awning and bounces out of the stadium. Much to the disappointment of a congregation of young gentlemen wanting the foul ball. Count will hold even, 2-2. 46th pitch of the game here for Cholas. He really wants to get out of this inning without hitting the 50 mark. Here is the 2-2. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that'll end it. Second strikeout of the inning, and his 3rd of the start. It was a run on a hit, no errors charged to the Hardhats, and a man left on the base path in scoring position. We've played an inning and a half of baseball, and Merced has tied this one up at 1 run on either side here against the Hardhats. They'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the second. Holden Jackson, Zach Sumption, and Ryan Schmidt slated to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Hardhats fans, don't forget about our annual Dining on the Diamond Spaghetti Dinner. Not this upcoming Monday, the next Monday, July 9th, from 5 to 7 p.m. here at the Fitz. It's a free dinner to all of our season ticket holders on sponsors, and we invite you to come on out and have your favorite Post 22 hard hat serve you your meal. The guys are wearing bow ties and cummerbunds. It's a free pasta dinner. You can't say no to it. Clayton Hall back on the mound, and his first pitch to Holden Jackson's chopped to third. Stops made on the play by Beard, and his throw to first is in time. One pitch, one man up, one man down for the Hardhats. Holden Jackson, a very brief appearance. And that'll bring us to Zach Sumption, the right fielder. One out here in the bottom of the second. Hardhats are in a 1-1 deadlock. Sumption batting .300 coming into this matchup. And his first pitch from Hall is swung on. Ball's lined in the air to shallow center. It's going to drop in front of Minor for a base hit. So there's a one-out single for Sumption on the first pitch he saw. Hardhats aggressive early in this inning. Jackson swings at the first pitch, grounds out. Sumption swings at the first pitch, lined right up the middle. That's going to bring up Ryan Schmidt, the catcher. Schmidt on the season batting .342. He's officially 27 for 79 this season in 96 plate appearances. Check to first is not there in time, and Sumption's back. Schmidt with 17 singles, 9 doubles, a triple, and has yet to leave the yard. 20 ribbies and 16 runs scored. First pitch, low and inside for ball one. 1-0 to Schmidt with Sumption standing 90 feet to his right on first. One out here in the bottom of the second. 1-1 score here between Merced and Post 22. The 1-0 is too far inside again, and it'll be 2 balls and no strikes to the hard hat backstopper. Merced looking for their first win. 0-1 in the tournament, lost last night 7-6 to Rocky Mountain. 2-0 pitch, swung on and foul tipped into the glove for strike one. 2-1. Hardhats, on the other hand, thanks to a 5-inning no-hitter from Dylan Ritchie, got a 15-0 run rule win over the Missoula Mavericks. Check to first, and Sumption's back, just barely. Looked like he slipped trying to lunge back to first base, but he made it. 2-1 still the count here to Schmidt. Very uncharacteristic of Missoula last night. They've always played the Hardhats really tough. It's just an off night for them. 2-1 to Schmidt. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed, and the throw to second is off the glove of the second baseman, and it goes into shallow left. Sumption's on his way to third, and he's safe. And the ball skips off the third baseman, Beard. But covering was the pitcher, Hall. So Sumption gets credited with a stolen base on the play, and that advances on the carom, and they're going to rule that an error. Merced coaching is wanting to know whether or not there was obstruction on the throw. It looked like a tight play, but Sumption didn't go out of his way to knock into anybody. He's entitled to that path towards the base. So if you're standing in that lane, then something's bound to happen, and the ball caromed off of the second baseman, Solis. So they rule that an error as well. So that's the second error on Merced in as many innings. 2-2 to Schmidt. Ball's hit high in the air to shallow right, actually around second base, and Solis gets the catch for out number 2. With Sumption standing on third. So unfortunately, a sac fly situation no longer in effect for the Hardhats, which makes it even more important that Sumption was able to advance an extra base to third. Messenger gets a base hit. It will surely knock him in and give the Hardhats the lead. Mason Messenger now due up. Batting .295 on the season coming into this game. And his first pitch is swung on and missed on a high fastball. 0-1. Sumption stands on third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. 1-1 deadlock between Merced, Volunteers, and the Post 22 Hardhats. 0-1 pitch is fouled behind home plate to the meshing. And quickly Messenger's in an 0-2 hole. Messenger trying to keep the inning going, give the Hardhats the lead. 0-2 pitch is upstairs, 1-2. Connor King back at the top of the order is on deck. if Messenger can keep the inning going. Ball and 2 strikes the count. And Hall deals to Messenger. Swung on, ball's lined into left field, and it's going to drop in front of Flores for a base hit. Sumption trots home to score. A 2-out RBI single for Mason Messenger, and the Hardhats have retaken the lead. It's 2-1. And back to the top of the lineup we go to Connor King with a man on first, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Hardhats with their 3rd hit of the ball game and knocking in their 2nd run. Hall from the stretch against King. Here's his first pitch. King tried to show bunt, and it was a called strike even though he pulled back. 0-1. King's 0 for 1. He took a 3-1 pitch and flew out to center field. It was really in left field. Center just came over and made the catch. No balls and a strike the count here to King. And the 0-1 is too far inside and low. 1-1. Mason Messenger on first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Hardhats have retaken the lead at 2-1. 1-1 pitch from Hall. Out, no, called strike. That was a late call on the strike. It hit the outside corner. Yogi Milslego with the call, 1-2. And Hall's 1-2 to King. Swung on, and that ball is flared into left, and making the catch is Flores. And that'll end the bottom half of the second inning. Well, the Hardhats get a run back on a pair of hits. Another error charged to Merced with a man left on first base. 2 innings of baseball, the Hardhats find themselves back on top over Merced. 2-1 is the score. We'll take a step aside, folks, and come right back with the top of the third and the top of the Volunteers order here in just a few moments on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. For all those Rapid City Rush fans tuning into tonight's broadcast, don't forget that our season packages are on sale now. You can get a full 36-game package, a half-season 18-game package, or a specialty night 7-game package. Each one of them comes with their own amenities and perks, including your free personalized season ticket holder member exclusive jersey if you get the full 36-game package. 716-7825, Jeremy, Aaron, Eric, and Kelly would be more than happy to help you out. Top of the third inning between Merced and Post 22. Hardhats with a 2-1 lead, and back to the top of the order we go to Jack Solis. Solis looks at ball 1 on a high fastball. He walked to lead off the entire ball game, but was stranded at third. That ended up being a scoreless first inning. He fouls off his next pitch and evens his count up at a ball and a strike. Numbers across the board through 2 innings for the Hardhats in the driver's seat. It's 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors. And for Merced, it's a run on a hit with 2 errors. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Jack Solis. And Cholas deals. Called strike, a fastball at his knees, and it's 1-2. Cholas has nailed that spot to perfection tonight. Right at the knees. He's clipped it, and he clips it so well. Looking for strikeout 4. 1-2 to Solis. High and away, and the count evens up at 2-2. Chris Witt and Petey Minor to follow Solis in order. Here is the 2-2. Too low and inside, and the count goes full now. 5 full counts for Cholas in this game. And here comes the payoff. And that's low and away for ball 4, and Solis draws a second walk to lead off an inning. All 3 innings so far, the first batter has walked. Cholas having a couple of control issues. And by the way, he's at 52 pitches right now. Already 6 in the frame. Chris Witt, the left-handed hitting right fielder, is up. One of only 2 lefties to face Cholas today. He's 0 for 1 with a pop out to short. First pitch is upstairs, 1-0. Solis stole second the last time he was on the base path. And then the dropped third strike on his first strikeout advanced him to third. 1-0 pitch. Swung on, and that ball is turned on to right field, but it is foul. And over the wall, and the count will even at a ball and a strike. Witt absolutely blasted that ball. But he hooked it too much. He was a little too early on it. 1 ball, 1 strike the count to Chris Witt. Cholas from the stretch, 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, called strike. And it's 1-2 now from Cholas to Witt. Pitch had some nice movement to it. Cholas looking for that 4th strikeout. And check to first is not there in time. Back safely is Solis. Solis on first with no one out here in the top of the 3rd. And a ball and 2 strikes the count here to Chris Witt. 1-2. Breaking ball misses low. And the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 now the count. Cholas looks to first. 2-2 to Witt. Is outside, ball 3, another chance at second, and the throw is too high. And Solis has 2 stolen bases. And another full count comes to Witt. So a big payoff pitch again for Cholas, who's nearing 60 on the start. He looks to second, and from the stretch, payoff pitch is high and inside for ball 4. Back-to-back walks to start off the inning for Cholas, and now Ryan Clapperich, the pitching coordinator for the Hardhats, is going to come out and have a quick word with his lefty and some of the infield. Cooper Bowman at least wants to be in on the conversation, so he comes in to chat. Jack Cholas is at 58 pitches here in his 3rd inning of work. Right now it's registered as 2+ because he hasn't registered it out yet in this frame. He's dealt 2 walks in this inning and 4 overall. 4 walks to 3 Ks. Hasn't hit anybody yet, and no errors have been committed by the defense. But post 22 needs him to lock it down. First and second, no one out here in the top of the 3rd. Would not be surprised to see Minor maybe go to some small ball here. What's a 2-1 game for the Hardhats? He shows the bunt, and he offers on it, and he missed. That was a high fastball, 0-1. Minor offered and did make contact, and I'm almost sure of it that if he did, it would have been foul anyway. No balls and a strike. Caldwell comes off of first to field the bunt, try and get the play at 3rd. So Minor's going to try and push this down the 3rd baseline. 0-1. Minor pulls back, and it's a ball. 1-1 now the count. Messenger ready at second to try and cover the bag if the play does have to come to first. Ball and a strike the count here to Minor. He showed bunt. He shows it again. Pulls back. It's a high fastball, and it's 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to Petey Minor, who is 0 for 1 with the first of 3 strikeouts from Zach Cholas, I should say. He has a quick word with his manager over at third. 2 balls and a strike is count. Men on first and second. He's trying to move them both over to scoring position. He's taken one crack at the bunt. Every pitch has been high, though. He missed one. He let the other 2 pass. 2 balls and a strike. Cholas takes his time. 2-1 pitch. He pulls back and he rips it into left field by Holden Jackson for a base hit. Jackson fields it. He gets it into Bowman. Rounding third and coming home to score is Solis, and we are square at 2 with an RBI single to Pete Miner. Petey Miner swung away and he ripped it into left. No outs. Still men on first and second. Tied at 2. And now Daniel Beard, the cleanup hitter, comes up with a chance to blow it open for Merced and give them their first lead of the ball game. First pitch, called strike. A fastball outside corner. It's 0-1. Beard didn't show bunt. I mean, cleanup hitter, you're going to let him swing away, especially with 2 men on base. No balls and a strike to count. And here's the 0-1. Fastball high and away is fouled off. 0-2 now to Beard. Cholas really needs that 4th strikeout now. He has none registered and men on first and second. If he can get it and hold both runners, he'd have his first out and the double plays in effect to end the inning. But he's got to lock it down. He's about to throw his 64th pitch. 0-2 to Beard. Is low and outside, 1-2. Witt is on second, Miner on first. Witt walked to get on the base path. Miner just hit an RBI single in a left. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit up the middle. Bowman the stop at short. Touches second for 1. Throw to first for 2 in time. And it's a 6 unassisted 3 double play. 2 down with Witt moving over to third in the sequence. And that's going to bring up the left fielder, Joe Flores. So the go-ahead run for Merced is 90 feet away with 2 outs here in the top of the third. 2-2 deadlock as Merced has plated 1 on a hit. Joe Flores walked and lines one into center field. King is on the run. It'll drop in front of him for a base hit, and the go-ahead run comes in to score. A 2-out RBI single for Joe Flores, and Merced has their first lead of the ballgame, and it stands at 3-2. Caden Floro now comes up with a man on first and 2 outs. He's 0 for 1 with a ground out right to the pitcher. Second lefty that Cholas faces here. There's the first pitch, and that's upstairs, 1-0. Cholas running into some trouble here in this start. His pitch count is, for 3 innings, his pitch count's astronomical. He's about to throw pitch number 68. Here's the 1-0. Too far inside on the lefty. 2-0 now to Floro. Second lefty-on-lefty matchup that Cholas has. If Cholas can get out of the inning, Bachman, Bowman, and Sorensen are slated to hit in the bottom half of the third for post 22. Cholas takes his time. Here's a 2-0 pitch. Called strike. Fastball at the knees of Floro, and now it's 2-1. On first base is Joe Flores. He hit an RBI single to get on the base path. Came a batter ago with 2 outs. 2-1 to Floro, and they throw it to first. Caldwell drops the ball, though, on the pickoff. And advancing safely to second is Flores. And that'll be an E3 that allows the runner to advance to second. Cholas with a great pickoff. He had Flores. If the ball wasn't dropped, it would have been a rundown. You got to hope that that runner in scoring position doesn't mess this up anymore for Cholas. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that rides upstairs for ball 3. 3-1 now to Floro with Flores on second. Cholas gets a sign, looks to second. From the stretch, it'll be a 3-1 to Floro. And that is too far inside for ball 4. There's another walk issued by Cholas. This one comes with 2 outs. It puts men on first and second. That'll bring up Daniel Ureste. And now Caldwell comes over to speak to Cholas. Maybe something strategic, maybe some words of encouragement. Cholas now over 71 pitches. Trying to bring Bachman, Bowman, and Sorensen up to the plate and signal the start of the bottom of the third, but he has to get this third out here. Ureste's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. It was a backwards K in the book. Here's his first pitch. Called strike. Fastball at the knees. It's 0-1. Ureste has Floro on first, Flores on second. 2 outs in the top of the third. Merced's plated 2. They have a 3-2 lead. 3 runs on 2 hits in the inning and 3 walks issued. 0-1 pitch is a fastball upstairs. 1-1. 5 walks in this start here for Cholas to 3 strikeouts. Ball and a strike the count. And Cholas looks to second, but he's not going to throw it. Ball and a strike the count to Ureste. Grant Deal, the catcher's on deck. He's 1 for 1 with an RBI single. Ureste has men on first and second here. Here's the 1-1. Fastball upstairs, 2 balls and a strike. And now Cholas keeps missing with that high fastball, and he's just got to get back to simplifying things on the mound. Cholas digs in on the rubber. And both gentlemen on the base path take their lead. First and second, 2 outs. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Too far inside, 3 balls and a strike. Schmidt's going to come out and have a quick word here with Cholas, and now it looks like there will be action in the Hardhat bullpen. Cholas just threw a 75th pitch. The next one out of his hand will be number 30 in this inning, number 76 overall. 22 pitches in the first, 24 in the second. And he is nearing some pretty dangerous territory right now. A very high pitch count, and we're not even a full 3 innings of work for him in. We're 2 2/3. And they check down to first, and the tag's not there in time, and taking off from second to third is Joe Flores. So Flores steals third. And back safely at first is Floro on the check down. So we still have yet to see a 3-1 pitch, but now it's men on the corners for Ureste. And here's the 3-1. Called strike, a fastball on the outside corner, and now the count goes full. Cholas has a pitch that can either keep the inning going, load the bases, keep the inning going, and give Merced another run, or end it right where it stands. Obviously, he's hoping for the latter. Runner goes. Here's the payoff, and that's inside ball 4. 4th walk of the inning for Cholas, and that loads up the bases and will bring up Grant Deal, the catcher. So Deal steps in. Every base around him is occupied. It's a big moment in the ballgame. The Hardhats came into this inning with a 2-1 lead. They have since relinquished 2 runs. 2 runs on 2 hits. But 4 walks as well. Here comes Deal with the bases loaded. First pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to right field. Zach Sumption tracks to his left. He's underneath it, makes the catch, and he ends the threat. 32 pitches in the inning for Cholas, but the Hardhats hang on. It was 2 runs on 2 hits with an error charged to the Hardhats, and the bases left loaded. We've played 2.5 innings of baseball, and Post 22 now trails the Merced Volunteers by a 3-2 score. We'll take a step aside and come right back with Bachman, Bowman, and Sorensen for the Hardhats here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 comes into the bottom half of the 3rd inning, trailing Merced Volunteers out of Merced, California, by a 3-2 score. The top half of the 3rd inning was 2 runs on 2 hits with 1 error charged to the Hardhats. Any silver lining is that they left the bases loaded for the Volunteers. There were 5 walks issued. 4 walks issued in the inning. 6 total for Cholas. I'd be very surprised to see if he came out for the next inning because he's at 78 pitches right now. You could possibly get 1 more out of him, but I did see that there was action in the Hardhat bullpen. We'll see if that becomes the case. Clayton Hall back on the mound to take on the Hardhats. He will face Ryan Bachman, followed by Cooper Bowman and Jack Sorensen. Bachman 0 for 1 in the ballgame. He reached on an error, and he became the first run between either side. Here's his first pitch. Called strike. Fastball on the low outside corner. At the knees. It's 0-1 now to Bachman. And here's the 0-1 from Hall. Pitch is swung on and missed. 0-2 now to Bachman. Last night, Bachman went 1 for 4 with a walk. 1 for 3 with a walk. Here's his 0-2, and that's high and inside, and the count goes to 1-2. And he also reached on an error last night. Ball and 2 strikes to Bachman. Hall a full windup deals. Low and inside, and the count evens up at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes to Bachman, leading off the bottom half of the 3rd with the Hardhats trailing 3-2. 2-2 pitch is swung on, hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side, and it just goes out of play. Daniel Uresti flew to that fencing, that fence/mesh, right next to his team's dugout on the first base side, and it just went 2 rows in. So the count evens up, or remains even, I should say, at 2-2. Bachman in a battle here with Clayton Hall. Hall gets his sign, full windup, 2-2 to Bachman. Swung on it, it's fouled again. And the count will hold even once more at 2-2. Two balls and 2 strikes to Bachman. Leading off the bottom half of the 3rd. Hardhats trailing now 3-2. And here comes the 2-2 for a 3rd time. And that swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's strikeout number 2 for Clayton Hall. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats here in the bottom of the 3rd. And that'll bring us to Cooper Bowman, who is 1 for 1 with an RBI triple that knocked in Bachman back in the 1st inning after he reached on an error. That was Bowman's 10th triple of the season back in the 1st inning. Here's his first pitch. Called strike. Fastball outside corner. It's 0-1. Bowman hovering around 500 now on the season, and he looks at another pitch low and away. 1-1 now his count. Base path empty for Bowman with one out here in the bottom of the third. His Hardhats club trails 3-2 to the Merced Volunteers out of Merced, California. Here is the 1-1 pitch. And that's a called strike, belt high on the outside corner, and it's 1-2 now to Bowman. Ball and 2 strikes, and Hall deals to Bowman. Pitch is swung on, ball's flared to second. Stop made by Solis on the ground. Throw to first is not in time. Bowman beat out the throw. It's a 1-out infield single, and that should get the Hardhats dugout energized. And now Jack Sorensen, the designated hitter, comes up. 0 for 1 with the first of 2 strikeouts issued by Clayton Hall in this start. Bowman leads off of first, and Hall now looks into Sorensen. 1 out here in the bottom of the third. Hardhats trail by 1. First pitch to Sorensen, fouled off. A little late on it. 0-1. No balls and a strike to count to Jack Sorensen. And here's the 0-1. Runner goes. Pitch is check swung on and missed, and then the ball falls out of the hand of Deal as he tried to fling it to second. So Bowman gets the stolen base on the hit and run. 0-2 now the count to Sorensen with a man on second. That man on second, by the way, in Cooper Bowman is the tying run of the ballgame. Hardhats trailing 3-2 here in the bottom of the third with 1 out. Sorensen hoping to avoid a second K, but he's a strike away from it. Hall looks to second, and from the stretch, will deal the 0-2. Pitch is swung on and missed, strike 3. And that is out number 2 in the inning, and it's the third strikeout for Clayton Hall. Second issued to Sorensen, and that's going to bring up Jace Caldwell. Caldwell with runners in scoring position, batting .429 on the year. And the first pitch to him misses low, 1-0. Jace Caldwell also has 36 RBI on the season. That's good enough for second best on the team, behind Cooper Bowman. 1-0 pitch, misses low. That'll go 2 balls and no strikes to the hard hat first baseman. Caldwell in the game is 0 for 1. He grounded out to third with Bowman standing on third. Grounded out to short to end the bottom half of the first. 2-0 pitch. That's low and away. 3-0 now to Caldwell. And here's the 3-0 pitch. Called strike. Fastball just broke inside. 3-1. Broke the inside corner, I mean. And now here's the 3-1 to Caldwell. That's too far inside, and that'll be ball 4. So Caldwell draws a 2-out walk. First and second now for the Hardhats. That's going to bring us to Holden Jackson, who is 0 for 1 with a ground out to third. He led off the bottom half of the second. He has the tying run in scoring position, and Caldwell 90 feet behind him. First pitch to Jackson. Called strike inside, 0-1. No balls and a strike to Jackson, and the next pitch is a called strike on the opposite corner. 0-2. Holden Jackson's batting .348 with runners in scoring position, so this is a pretty good opportunity for him to tie the ball game up. Hall makes a motion to second off the mound, so we won't have the 0-2 come yet to Jackson. Bowman's on second, Caldwell's on first. 2 outs bottom of the third. Hardhats trying to tie it up. They're down 3-2. 0-2 pitch. Swung on, and the ball is hit to second. Oh, right into the glove of Solis. What a catch. Oh, my goodness. Jackson thought he flared it over his head, and Solis made the catch, and that ends the bottom half of the third. No runs on a hit with no errors charged to Merced. 2 men left on the base path. The tying run left in scoring position. We've played 3 innings of baseball. And Post 22 still trails the Volunteers by a 3-2 score. We'll take a step outside, and we'll come right back here in the top of the 4th with Merced back to the sticks here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. There's been a pitching change made by Coach Torvey and company for the Hardhats. The start of Zach Cholas has come to an end after 3 innings in which he's allowed 3 hits and 3 runs, which all 3 runs were scored. Rather, all 3 runs were earned, I mean. He struck out 3, he walked 6, and he did it all on 78 pitches in the start. Now taking over is number 16, Tad Sherbinski. He has been handed the ball, his right arm on the mound. Sherbinski on the season. This will be his 12th appearance of the year and his 10th by virtue of a relief. 26 2/3 innings of work under his belt. He has a 4-0 record and is 1-for-1 on save opportunities. So at this moment, if the Hardhats were to gain the lead and win, he'd be the pitcher of record in that sense. 22 strikeouts to 10 walks and a 3.94 ERA on the season. So Sherbinski takes over for Cholas again and went 3 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs allowed, all earned. Struck out 3, walked 6 on 78 pitches. Sherbinski's first pitch of his relief appearance comes to Robert White, and it's low for ball 1. 1-0 the count. 0 for 1 is White with a strikeout. And the 1-0 is fouled. And the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Here's the 1-1. Swung on and fouled again. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes to White. Sherbinski looking for a strikeout on his first batter faced in relief. And the 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to shallow right. Looks like it's coming into foul territory, and Caldwell tried to make a play on it all the way from first. It's out of his reach. And the count will hold at a ball and 2 strikes. Pitch count was a big problem for Zach Cholas, so let's see how Sherbinski does. Sherbinski's been stretched before. He's started twice. So you know that he has the capability to go a number of innings if you really need him to. And he doesn't necessarily have to go 6, but if he did, that'd be pretty cool for this Hardhats bullpen and pitching staff going into the later stages of the tournament. 1-2 pitch to White is a fastball upstairs, and the count evens up now at 2-2. White in the back to the top of the order to Solis and Witt. And the next pitch is swung on. Ball's pushed to first. Caldwell gets the stop and takes it upon himself to tag the bag. Out number 1. 3 unassisted in the book now brings us back to the top of the order to Jack Solis, the second baseman. Solis has walked twice, and he's come around to score once, and he looks at a first pitch high and inside. 1-0. Solis ended the bottom half of the third with a fantastic catch. A ball that we all thought was going to just skip over his head, and he nailed it. Next pitch from Sherbinski is a fastball down, and it's 2-0. Solis has also stolen 2 bases. So if he gets on the base path again, the Hardhats have to keep their wits about them. 2-0 pitch is at the letters, 3-0 now. And Jack Solis is a pitch away from getting issued his 3rd walk of this ball game. And Sherbinski's windup 3-0 is a called strike on the inside corner, and now it's 3-1. Solis has seen 5 pitches at minimum the last 2 times he was up. He's had full counts both times. Here's his 3-1, and that's upstairs for ball 4. And that is the 3rd time in this ball game that Solis has walked. At least this time, it's not to lead off an inning. He does so with 1 out. I got to say, this is uncharacteristic of Hardhats pitching tonight. 7 free passes, 6 of them from Cholis, 1 now from Sherbinski in relief. That's going to bring up Chris Witt, the left-handed hitting right fielder, for the first righty on lefty matchup. And his first pitch is low and away for ball 1. Witt's 0 for 1 with a pop out to short in shallow left field and a walk. He came around to score as well. All 3 runs that Merced has scored have come from gentlemen that have walked in this game. So obviously the free pass is a huge storyline. Here's the 1-0. And that missed just at the letters. 2 balls, no strikes to Witt. Tad Sherbinski on in relief of Zach Cholis, and he's already thrown 13 pitches. 3rd batter he's faced, but he does have an out registered. Hardhats have to start throwing strikes, though. 2 balls, no strikes to count, and the pitch is too far inside. Almost hit Witt. And now it's 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes to count here to Witt. As Sherbinski takes a look at Solis on first. And the 3-0. Swung on and missed. 3-1. Sherbinski started behind on the first 3 batters here that he's faced with a first pitch ball. But he has come back at least once to register an out. 3-1 to Witt. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on. Ball is hit super high in the air to right. Zach Sumption is underneath it, and he makes the catch for out number 2. That was a sky-high pop-up. 2 down for the Hardhats. Solis retreats back to first, and that's going to bring us to Petey Miner, the center fielder. Miner's 1 for 2 with a ribby single and a strikeout. And now he's getting some last words of encouragement from the coaching staff. And back to it he will go. Sherbinski steps in on the rubber and looks in for a sign. Solis still on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 4th, and the Hardhats trail 3-2. First pitch is high and away, 1-0. Hard to believe with 7 walks in this game that the Hardhats are only down 1 and they've only allowed 3 runs. Here's a 1-0. Swung on, ball, shot to third. Nice scoop by Bachman. Throw to first is in time, and that's going to end it. What a defensive play at third by Ryan Bachman. They call it the hot corner for a reason. And he ends the top half of the 4th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left on first base. We play 3.5 innings of baseball, and the Hardhats still trail 3-2. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 4th after a performance of God Bless America here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Nice performance of God Bless America is performed by Carolyn Halgo, the daughter of Chris Halgo, one of our good friends at ESPN Rapid City. We're all set now for the bottom half of the fourth inning, and Clayton Hall is back out on the mound. 3 strikeouts for Hall and only 1 walk. He's limited the Hardhats to 4 hits through 3 innings and 2 runs. He's had a great start here so far. He's induced a lot of contact. His defense has been great, although the Merced Volunteers have committed 2 errors. Those came in the first 2 innings, but they've been locked down ever since. To the bottom half of the fourth we go, with the bottom third of the order slated to hit. Zach Sumption, followed by Ryan Schmidt and Mason Messenger. Those 3 gentlemen are combined 2 for 3, so they've been producing in this game. And they also have one of the 2 hard hat runs scored. Post 22 trailing Merced 3-2 here in Game 2 of round robin play here in the 43rd Firecracker Tournament, presented by Camping World. Rocky Mountain, Post 22, and Terre Haute, Indiana are the undefeated teams. Terre Haute is 2-0. Hardhats and Rocky Mountain are 1-0, and Rocky Mountain still has to complete their game against Premier West tomorrow morning. Here comes Zach Sumption, and his first pitch from Hall is swung on. Ball's hit to short. Stops made on the play by White between his legs. Fumbled the ball. Throw to first is not in time. I think that's going to be an E6. It was fumbled right between his legs, and that's exactly what's read on the scoreboard. Is the E instead of the H. So that'll be an E6 to lead off the inning. The 3rd error of the ball game for Merced. And that's going to bring up Ryan Schmidt, the catcher, who's 0 for 1. Sumption goes to 1 for 2 with the single and the error. Schmidt with the man on first. No one out here in the bottom of the 4th. Tying run is on for the Hardhats, and the check to first is not there. Sumption's back. Still waiting on the first pitch to Ryan Schmidt. And here it comes. He shows bunt, but that attempt flies way high into the crowd. 0-1 the count. The Hardhats have uncharacteristically had some trouble in trying to get that bunt down in key moments, and you want to try and get this one down to allow Sumption an opportunity to get to scoring position. Schmidt swings away at the next one and rips it foul. 0-2. It was kind of a problem last year to an extent, depending on who was up. The sacrifice bunt's a very important part of the game. Schmidt behind 0-2, and Hall's 0-2 pitch is high and inside. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count to Schmidt with Sumption on first. No one out here in the bottom of the 4th. Hardhats trail 3-2 to Merced. 1-2 pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Foul territory, first base side. Orestes comes over from first, and he cannot make the play. And so Schmidt will see another 1-2 pitch. Tomorrow, the Hardhats will take on Terre Haute, Indiana in the nightcap. Merced will take on Premier West at 11 a.m. after Premier West plays against Rocky Mountain. And then Missoula will take on Rocky Mountain again. 1-2 pitch, buzzes the tower high and inside. 2-2. Ryan Schmidt, the batter, with no one out. Sumption on first, reaching on the error to lead off the bottom half of the 4th. Merced up 3-2. And the 2-2 pitch is outside, and the count goes full to Schmidt. Credit Schmidt, he's battled back. Starting to get Clayton Hall's pitch count up. And the runner goes, 3-2 pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Sumption's got to get on his horse back to first. Catch is made by Hall, throw to first, not in time. Good hustle back by Sumption. But Ryan Schmidt got way under that. How odd is that? A pop 1 in the book. 1 down, Sumption still on first, and that'll bring on Mason Messenger, the second baseman. Messenger 1 for 1 with a ribby single. Check to first, and Sumption's back. Great hustle by Sumption. By the time he realized it was an infield pop fly, he was practically at second. Kind of slipped a little bit trying to go back, but he hustled. First pitch to Messenger. Called strike. 0-1. And obviously, Sumption got a great head start. He was going on the pitch. And Schmidt just got right under it. And the 0-1. Called strike on the low outside corner at the knees. 0-2 to Messenger. And the 0-2. Swung on and fought off foul. No balls, 2 strikes, still the count to Messenger. And Hall from the stretch deals the 0-2. Missed low and away, just barely. 1-2 now to Messenger. Sumption still on first, with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. The Hardhats trailing by 1. And Hall's 1-2 pitch. Caught him looking, strike 3. What a breaking ball that was inside. And that's K number 4 for Hall. And 2 down for the Hardhats as we come back to the top of the order to Connor King, who is 0 for 2. King has flown out twice. Sumption still on first. King, the only lefty in the lineup, taking on the righty Hall. And the first pitch is a called strike at his belt. 0-1 the count here to King. Trying to get something going here for the Hardhats. Trailing 3-2. 0-1 pitch, runner goes. It's low, and the throw to second is not there. Robert White, the shortstop, went to cover, and it went off of his chest and down. Sumption with a successful stolen base, and it's a 1-1 count now to King. King has a chance to knock in the tying run. Hall looks to second, 1-1 pitch. Just missed outside, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike, the count here to King. And here's the 2-1 pitch. Low and inside, 3 balls and a strike. Three and 1 the count. Hall takes a look at Sumption and feigns a motion to second. Sumption's back safely, and back to King we go. 3 balls and a strike. King looking for his first appearance on the base path. And here's his 3-1. Called strike on the low inside corner at his knees. And the count to King goes full, and the Hardhats fans are not happy with that one. Big pitch coming up here, could end the inning or could keep it going for the Hardhats and bring up Ryan Bachman. Payoff to King. Swung on, balls chopped to first. Stop is made by Uresti, and he hits the bag, and that will end it. 3 unassisted. No runs, no hits, 1 error charged to Merced, and the tying run left stranded on second base. We've played 4 innings of baseball. Post 22 still trails Merced 3-2. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the top of the 5th inning in just a few moments here on ESPN Rapid City and on Hardhats-TV. Fans, don't forget about our annual Dining on the Diamond Spaghetti Dinner on Monday night, July 9th from 5 to 7 p.m. It's a free dinner to all of our season ticket holders and sponsors. You get free pasta, and you get all the Hardhats players wearing bow ties and cummerbunds to come serve you your meal. I mean, come on. You can't say no to it. If you do, then either you've got another date or something, or yeah, I don't know. Bottom line is you should come out. It's going to be a fun time. I'm going to be there too. So Daniel Beard comes up. Beard batting left-handed this time. He is a switch hitter. And Beard's first pitch from Sherbinski's upstairs for ball 1. Beard's 0 for 2. He grounded out to first, and then he grounded into a 6 unassisted 3 double play. Here's a 1-0. Pitch is swung on, and it's pushed opposite field into left for a base hit. And Daniel Beard gets his first hit of the ball game. It's a leadoff single to start off the top of the 5th inning. Through 4+ innings of play, Merced in the driver's seat has 3 runs on 4 hits, but 3 errors in the field. And for the Hardhats, 2 runs on 4 hits, also 1 error charged to them. Joe Flores, the left fielder, comes up. 1 for 1 with a ribby single and a stolen base. Also a walk and a run scored. Sherbinsky's checked to first, not there in time. We still have yet to see a first pitch to Flores. Sherbinsky from the stretch. First pitch is a called strike. Fastball at the knees, it's 0-1. Daniel Beard standing on first with the leadoff single. Leadoff man has made it for Merced in 4 out of 5 innings in this game. 0-1 pitch, swung on, ball's hit high in the air to shallow left. Bowman comes in from the shortstop position just on the fringe to make the catch. And that is out number 1 of the inning. Good news for Sherbinsky and the Hardhats. That means that the double play is in effect to get out of it. Now here comes Caden Floro, the DH, the lefty, and he gives a humongous swing and a miss. 0-1. Floro swung out of his boots on that one. He is 0 for 1 with a ground out right to the mound and a walk. Sherbinsky's first matchup against the Merced DH. Man on first, 1 out in the top of the 5th. 0-1 pitch, swung on, and it's chopped foul, first base side. 0-2. Hardhats trail 3-2 to Merced. Game 2 of the 43rd Annual Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World. No balls, 2 strikes. Sherbinsky looking for his first K in relief. Or a double play to end the inning. 0-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. There's out number 2 and K number 1 for Sherbinsky. Daniel Uresti now comes up with a man on first and 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. Merced is up 3-2. Uresti on the ball game's 0 for 1 with a backwards K and a walk. Still has the leadoff man, Daniel Beard, on first. First pitch. Called strike, a fastball at his belt. It's 0-1. No balls and a strike to count, and Sherbinsky looks back to Beard at first. Comes to the set position and from the stretch. Deals the 0-1. Pitch is swung on. Ball is flared. Foul territory, first base side, and out of play. And quickly, Uresti is in an 0-2 hole. Sherbinsky looking for back-to-back Ks to end the top half of the 5th. And signal, if you will, halftime of the ballgame. No balls. 2 strikes to count. And the 0-2 misses low and away. And the count now goes to a ball and 2 strikes to Uresti. If Uresti is the last out, we will go back to Bachman, Bowman, and Sorensen in the bottom of the 5th. The Hardhats down 1, so 2, 3, and 4 in the order. 1-2 from Sherbinsky. Misses low again. 2-2. Bachman, Bowman, and Sorensen are combined 2 for 6 with 3 strikeouts. Both hits belong to Bowman. 2 of the 3 strikeouts belong to Sorensen. 2 balls, 2 strikes the count. And Sherbinsky deals. Low and away, and the count goes full. 3-2 the count. Szymanski hoping to avoid keeping this inning going. It would put men on first and second for Grant Deal, who already has an RBI hit. Payoff pitch, and it's fouled off to the meshing behind home plate. And the count remains full. Second payoff pitch coming to Daniel Uresti. Szymanski again looks in. And here's payoff number 2. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air, foul territory, right field side. And it goes into the Merced bullpen. Count will hold full again. Third payoff coming up. Heading back to first is Daniel Beard. He's taking his time in getting there. And now he's back and ready to go. Payoff pitch number 3 comes from Szymanski. Pitch is swung on, ball's flared, high in the air, foul territory. Jace Caldwell on his horse, stumbles. Can he make the play? Yes, he makes the catch. And that's going to end the top half of the 5th. What a great play by Caldwell. He had a ton of ground to cover, and he kind of stumbled a bit too. But he was still able to pull it off, and the Hardhats get out of the inning without allowing anything. No runs on a leadoff hit with no errors, and a man stranded on first the entirety of the frame. We have played exactly half the ball game. 4.5 innings out of 9. And post 22 still trails Merced Volunteers from Merced, California by a 3-2 score. We'll take a step aside and come right back with the bottom of the 5th. And Ryan Bachman, Cooper Bowman, and Jack Sorensen slated to hit here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 now at halftime of their ball game, if you will. Now transition to the bottom half of the 5th inning against the Merced Volunteers of Merced, California. They trail 3-2 coming into the bottom of the 5th. Ryan Bachman now leads off, and his first pitch is a called strike inside. It almost hit Bachman, and he's asking Yogi Milslegel about it. He doesn't agree with the call, as neither do the fans, but that's Yogi's call down there. Here's the 0-1 to Bachman, and that's a called strike on the low outside corner, and now Bachman's in an 0-2 hole. Bachman's 0 for 2, looking for his first hit of the ball game. He reached on an error and scored in the first and struck out in the third. And Hall's 0-2 pitch to Bachman. Caught him looking, strike 3. And that is strikeout number 5 for Hall in this start. Cooper Bowman now comes up with an empty base path and 1 out. Clayton Hall still out there. About to throw a 79th pitch to Bowman. And here it comes. Called strike on the outside corner. 0-1. Bowman 2 for 2 with an RBI triple, a single, and a stolen base. 0-1 pitch, ball swung on, hit high in the air to center field. That ball has some legs. It has the distance, and it is off the wall. Bowman's rounding second, and he's going to slam the brakes and stick with a 1-out double. He absolutely torched that ball over the head of Petey Minor, the center fielder, and gets his 3rd hit of the ball game. He is a home run away from the cycle. And that's going to bring up Jack Sorensen, who is looking for his first hit of the ball game. 0 for 2 with a pair of strikeouts to Hall. Hall has 5 Ks, and Sorensen represents 1 and 3. Hall from the stretch looks to Bowman. Here's the first pitch. Too far inside, it's 1-0. 1-0 to Sorensen. He's got a favorable batting average with runners in scoring position at .385. Bowman's a crafty base runner, too. He's looked back over to second, so we will reset before Sorensen sees his 1-0 pitch. Hall from the stretch deals a 1-0. Missed low, just below the knees of Sorensen. It's 2-0. 2 balls, no strikes to count. Hall looks to second again. 2-0 to Sorensen. Swung on and fouled to the meshing just behind home plate. It's 2-1. Post 22 won their first game of the tournament yesterday, 15-0 on a 5-inning no-hitter from Dylan Ritchie. Merced lost 7-6 in a nail-biter to Rocky Mountain. They are 0-1. 2-1 pitch is fouled again behind home plate to the mesh. 2-2 now to Sorensen. Terre Haute is still undefeated at 2-0. They had a 10-8 win against the Missoula Mavericks today. Rocky Mountain and Premier West were postponed. They will resume with just a 7-inning game tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. 2-2 pitch, runner goes, and it swung on and missed. Strike 3, and the throw to third is off track. And Bowman's going to hang on. He's not going to go home. Sorensen strikes out again for a third time. That is 6 strikeouts for Clayton Hall, and 3 of them have come to Sorensen. 2 down, Bowman steals third. And now Jace Caldwell has the tying run 90 feet to his left with the Hardhats down 3-2. First pitch. Low and away, and it skips behind home plate, and the catcher loses sight of it. Bowman comes in to score. We're tied at 3. Grant Deal lost it on the carom, and Cooper Bowman comes home. And now we're all square at 3. A big run for the Hardhats here in the bottom of the 5th. Jace Caldwell has a 1-0 count, and Clayton Hall will shift back to a full windup. 1-0 pitch is high and inside to Caldwell. 2-0. Caldwell's 0 for 1 with a ground out to short and a walk. There's his 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed on a high fastball, and it's 2-1. Two balls and a strike to count here to Jace Caldwell. And the next pitch is low and away. 3 balls and a strike now the count. Caldwell's already been walked once. Clayton Hall a pitch away from doing it again. And here is the 3-1 pitch. Called strike on the low inside part of the plate. Right at the knees of Caldwell. Fans are very restless with Yogi Milslagle tonight. Here comes a payoff pitch to Caldwell. And Hall deals. Swung on and the ball's fouled off of Shep's Peak. Shameless plug, you can watch the game from Shep's Peak. It's practically our version of a luxury suite here at the Fitz. Here comes payoff number 2. Swung on, and that ball's hit high in the air to left center field. Underneath it is Minor, and he makes the catch shading to his right, and that is going to end the bottom half of the 5th. Well, the Hardhats tie the ball game back up. A run on a hit with no errors charged to the Volunteers. Nobody left on the base path. 5 innings of baseball in the books, and we are back to a deadlock, tied at 3 aside. When we return, it's the top of the 6th. The Merced Volunteers back at it against Tad Sherbinski. Deal White back to the top to Solis. We'll be right back here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Five innings in the books. Post 22 has knotted the game up once again at 3 runs aside. Tad Sherbinski now becomes the pitcher of record for Post 22 as he finishes throwing his warm-up pitches and gets ready for battle here in the top of the 6th. Numbers across the board through 5 innings. For the Hardhats, it's 3 runs on 5 hits with an error. And for Merced, California, now back up to the plate, it's 3 runs on 4 hits and a trio of errors. Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM, and as always streamed on Hardhats-TV. Tad Sherbinski looks into Grant Deal, And his first pitch is a called strike at the knees. 0-1. Deal is 1 for 2 with an RBI single and a fly out to right with the bases loaded to end the inning. His 0-1 pitch is flared, but it's foul right field side and out of play. 0-2 now the count to Deal. That was when Merced took the lead originally at 3-2. They had a chance to blow it open with the bases loaded and 2 outs, and Deal flew out to right. No balls, 2 strikes. And here's the pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped right back up the middle and into center field for a base hit. And Grant Deal gets his second hit of the ball game, now at 2 for 3. And once again for Merced, the leadoff man is on. And that's going to bring us to Robert White, the shortstop. The leadoff man in this game for Merced is 2 for 3 with 3 walks. What a quick play. If you blinked, you would have missed it. It's registered for the Hardhats. And back to the top of the order we go to Jack Solis with an empty base path here in the top of the 6th. Knotted at 3. Whew. As Ron Burgundy once famously said, that escalated quickly. First pitch to Solis is a half swing and a miss. 0-1. What a crazy sequence. White crosses on the bunt, and then in a split second, Schmidt to first gets Deal off the base. And then the strikeout 2 pitches later. 0-1 pitch is upstairs to Solis, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. 1-1 from Sherbinsky to Solis. And here's the 1-1. Check swing, and it's a called strike. 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sherbinsky looking for back-to-back Ks to end the inning. 1-2 is high and inside. 2-2 now the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes for Jack Solis. And here's the 2-2. Swung on, and that ball's lined into center field. King comes charging forward, but it lands in front of him and will drop for a 2-out single. So Merced gets a man back on the base path. 2 outs, a man on first, and back to the left-handed hitting right fielder Chris Witt. Witt on the ball game is 0 for 2 with a walk. Both times he made contact, the ball was hit in the air. It was a pop out to short and a fly out to center. Solis has checked it first. Solis has stolen 2 bases in this game. First pitch swung on, ball's hit to second. Messenger couldn't get the backhand, and it goes right by him and into center field. And that's going to be ruled an E4. And a costly mistake there as Solis now advances to scoring position and Witt is on first. The inning keeps going. I think if Messenger had that to do again, if ball comes to him at second, square up. Don't go for that backhanded stop. You've got plenty of time to either get the out at second because you're so close or the out at first. That all you needed to do is square up. Even if you bat the ball down, you're still all right. First pitch to Petey Minor is a ball. 1-0 for him. Minor is 1 for 3 with a ribby single and a strikeout. Also a ground out to third. 1-0 pitch is swung on and missed. And the count evens at 1-1 now from Sherbinsky. Men on first and second for Merced. They have some life on the error for Messenger. That's the second error of the ball game for the Hardhats. You're in the top of the 6th with 2 outs. 1-1. Called strike, a fastball outside corner at the knees, and it's a ball and 2 strikes now. Sherbinsky looking to end it and bring Jackson, Sumption, and Schmidt to the plate. Bottom half of this inning. 1-2 pitch. Runners go. Throw to third is in time, and that's going to end it. Solis called out trying to steal, and that ends the top half of the 6th. Minor's at bat interrupted. That was ball 2 thrown, and so he will lead off the top of the 7th for the Merced Volunteers. No runs on 2 hits with no errors and a man left on the base path in scoring position. We have played 5.5 innings of baseball, and Post 22 and the Merced Volunteers are deadlocked at 3 aside. We'll take a step aside and come right back with Holden Jackson to lead off the bottom half of the 6th here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Holden Jackson leads off the bottom half of the 6th for the Hardhats. Looked at ball 1 and quickly strike 1 after. 1-1 now his count. And Hall right back to it. The 1-1's just fouled off. A bit of a late swing there for Jackson. 1-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th with the Hardhats and the Volunteers. Knotted at 3. Jackson, Sumption, Smith to hit in that order. 1-2 to Jackson. Caught him looking, strike 3. K number 7 for Clayton Hall. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats. That'll bring us to Zach Sumption. Hall is 4 pitches away from the century mark. Zach Sumption comes up with an empty base path and 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th and swings and misses at his first pitch. 0-1 to Sumption, who is 1 for 2 on the ballgame. Sumption singled and scored in the 2nd. And then reached on an error and stole a base in the 4th. There's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and missed on an inside pitch, and it's 0-2 now to Sumption. Empty base path for Sumption. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Still knotted at 3. And here's the 0-2 from Hall. That's upstairs. A fastball is 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count here to Sumption. Hall looking for his 8th K. And the 1-2 misses low. 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes now. And Hall deals to Sumption. Swung on and the ball's fouled to the meshing right in front of our press box behind home plate. 2-2. Hall takes his time. Here comes the 2-2. Swung on, ball's fouled again in the mesh. 2-2 again. Hall is now over the century mark. He has thrown 102 pitches. It's the second pitcher the Hardhats have faced this week that has thrown over 100 against them. Caden Sargent from Sheridan was the first one on Tuesday. 2-2 pitch, low and inside. And Sumption's count goes full. And now here comes the payoff pitch to Sumption. Swung on, ball's turned on high in the air to left field. But it's in foul territory and it goes out of play. And the count will hold full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Sumption steps back in. Second payoff pitch from Hall. High and inside, ball 4. And the go-ahead run for the Hardhats is on with a 1-out walk to Sumption. Sumption's been on base all 3 times that he has made an appearance in the batter's box. Single, reached on the error. He's also stolen twice. He scored once. And now Ryan Schmidt comes up 0 for 2 looking for his first hit. First pitch misses low and it goes right through Deal's legs and Sumption's going to take off. Sumption advances to second on the passed ball. And it's a 1-0 count to Schmidt, the go-ahead run in striking distance. One and 0 the count to Schmidt. He's looking for his first hit of the ball game. 0 for 2. And making a motion to second is Clayton Hall. Assumption's back. Ball and no strikes the count here to Schmidt. Hall from the stretch. And the 1-0 is a called strike right at his belt. 1-1. Assumption leads off a second. Go ahead run. 1-1 pitch is low and inside. 2 balls and a strike now to Schmidt. Hall again sets. Looks to Assumption at second. 2-1. Low and inside. And the count goes to 3 balls and a strike now to Ryan Schmidt. Schmidt looking for his first hit, but he will take the free pass if he gets it. 3-1. Swung on and missed. And the count goes full for the hard hat backstopper. Hall now at 110 pitches. There is action going on in the Merced bullpen. And the payoff to Schmidt. That hit the end of the bat. It's a foul ball. And the count will hold full. Unfortunate sequence there for the Hardhats as Schmidt moved away from it, but it hit the butt end of his bat. Payoff number 2. Swung on and it's fouled. Right next to the Merced dugout. First base side. Lather, rinse, repeat. Payoff pitch number 3 coming up. Hall looks in for the sign. Assumption leads from second. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th, tied. Payoff number 3 is high and away for ball 4. And Ryan Schmidt walks. Back-to-back walks issued by Clayton Hall. And that's going to bring up Mason Messenger, who already has an RBI single. And the courtesy runner will be Matt Hegre. Coming in to courtesy run for Schmidt. That's one of the tournament rules. Catchers get a courtesy runner. So Matt Hegre will take over at first for Schmidt. Hegre on first, Assumption on second. Brief conference on the mound here from Merced coaching and Hall and Deal. The next man they have to face is Mason Messenger. He is 1 for 2. He's already knocked in a run today with an RBI single. And if he gets another one here, Assumption has the speed. He can score from second. So now, Hall steps back on 113 pitches. There is action in the Merced bullpen. This might be his last batter, depending on what happens. First and second for Messenger. Tied here in the bottom of the 6th. And the first pitch rides upstairs for ball 1. 1-0 to Messenger. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. Hardhats have the go-ahead run and then some on the base path. Here's the 1-0. Swung on, ball is fouled behind home plate to the mesh, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And here's the 1-1. Messenger fouls it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Messenger. Hall's looking for K number 8. Messenger looking to avoid that and break this tie. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and the ball is hit foul. Right to the on-deck circle where Connor King's standing. Nice barehanded feeling for King. Ball and 2 strikes the count. First and second for Messenger. 1 out. 1-2. Low and away, and he didn't go. He did not go. 2-2 now the count to Messenger. Two balls and 2 strikes. From the stretch comes Hall. 2-2 to Messenger. Low and away, and the count goes full. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Mason Messenger. Big payoff pitch coming up here for Hall, probably his last one. And here's a 3-2. Low and inside, ball 4. Ball goes to the backstop, and Deal comes to field it. Everybody was advancing a base anyway. 3 consecutive walks. Hegre now on second, Sumption now on third, and that will be the end of Clayton Hall's start. Clayton Hall threw 120 pitches. He struck out 7. Gave up 3 runs, and of the 3, only 2 of them were earned on the 5 hits that he surrendered, and 5 1/3 innings of work. He was fairly solid tonight, and obviously he went a very long distance for his Merced team. He didn't issue his first walk until the bottom half of the 3rd. And then threw 3 in a row here in the 6th. So he threw 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 4 walks. And now there is a pitcher coming over from the bullpen to take over. And it's going to be the lefty to try and take on Connor King. We'll have some new information on the new pitcher here in just a few moments. We'll step aside for 30 seconds here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Julian Dodrill, the lefty, is now on the mound. He will face Connor King with the bases juiced. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. We're in a tie ball game in Game 2 of pool play of the Firecracker Tournament, the 43rd annual tournament presented by Camping World. Clayton Hall one last time, his numbers. 5 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned. 7 strikeouts to 4 walks and a whopping 120 pitches. Put that in perspective, that's practically a major league workload in about a 7-inning game if the pitcher has just an average performance. And that's at the major league level. These are high schoolers and or freshmen in college, depending on how old they are. Julian Dodrill, the lefty, will now take on the only lefty on the hard hat roster, Connor King. Dodrill pitches from the stretch, bases loaded. First pitch comes right through the 5-hole of Deal. Everybody's going to advance. Deal didn't see it. And the Hardhats have the lead. It's 4-3. It went right through the 5-hole of Deal. And the wild pitch advances Sumption to score, Hegre to third, and Messenger to second. Here's the 1-0. Off the glove of Deal, but nobody takes advantage. The infield is now in. 2-0, the count to King. Two balls and no strikes the count. Infield on the fringe. And the 2-0's low and inside to King. It's ball 3. First base is open, so if the next pitch is ball 4, there is a spot to put him. It wouldn't knock in a run. Second and third are occupied. First is open. 3-0 to King. Misses low, and it's a 4-pitch walk. Now you can change Clayton Hall's stat line to 4 runs allowed and 3 of which are earned. He's still responsible for the first 2 men on the base path. 4 consecutive walks with 1 out here for the Merced Volunteers. Bases loaded. Ryan Bachman comes up, looking for his first hit. And the pitch is behind him and off the glove of Deal, but nobody takes advantage. Hegre thought about taking third. He was halfway and realized that the runner in front of him didn't move. 1-0 the count here to Bachman. Deal having trouble trying to snag some of these balls. Bachman looking for his first hit, reached on an error and scored and struck out twice. Infield still in for Merced. 1-0. Called strike on an off-speed pitch. 1-1. The lefty, Julian Dodrill, is up. He's not responsible for the men on second and third, but he is responsible for King on first. 1-1, swung on and missed, and Bachman lost control of the bat. 1-2. Dodrill needs a big out at the plate or a ground ball to induce a double play here. Something. Ball and 2 strikes the count as Bachman puts some line tar in his bat. And gets ready to take another pitch from Dodrill. Bases loaded for Bachman. 1-2. Too far inside. The count evens up at 2-2. King on first, Messenger on second, Hegre on third. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. 2-2 to Bachman. Swung on, ball's chopped to third. Stop is made on the play. Throw home is in time, and that's all they're going to get. And Deal got knocked into. And everybody takes the base in front of them. So that'll be a 5-3 fielder's choice that allows Bachman to get on the base path. 2 outs as Hegre is caught at home. Messenger moves to third, King to second. Bases loaded, 2 outs. That brings up Cooper Bowman. It has started raining here at the Fitz. Well, it took us almost 6 full innings for the elements to finally come back. The umbrellas are sprouting like the flowers that will come out as a result of this rain. At least that's what we were taught in elementary school, that if it rains, flowers will come out. April showers bring May flowers. And it looks like there is going to be another pitching change as Merced's going back to the bullpen. We'll take a 30-second recess, folks, and come right back. Cooper Bowman has the bases loaded and a new pitcher to face here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Caden Floro now comes on to pitch for Merced. He's the designated hitter in the batting order, so he'll remain offensively in the game, but Merced loses the DH. So every time they replace Floro on the mound, that pitcher has to bat in his spot, unless he comes in to substitute for someone else. It is raining out there, and we have the umpires trying to help make the mound a little more comfortable for Floro. Floro, a big right-handed pitcher, coming in to face Cooper Bowman. Bowman has every base occupied. The Hardhats have a 4-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th. They have plated 1 in the inning. Came in deadlocked. They have since taken the lead. And now they are looking to really blow it open. 2 outs, but Cooper Bowman is 3 for 3, a home run away from the cycle. RBI triple, a single, a double, and a run scored. How crazy would it be if he got the cycle to give the Hardhats an 8-3 lead here? That would be something else. Everybody in the press box that heard that comment is nodding in approval. We'll see what happens. 2 outs, bases loaded. Cooper Bowman, 3 for 3. A home run away from the cycle. He comes up against Caden Floro, the DH turned pitcher for the Merced Volunteers. Hardhats have a 4-3 lead, and Bowman has a chance to blow the roof off of it. First pitch, low and away, fastball, 1-0. Ryan Bachman on first with the fielder's choice. Connor King on second. Mason Messenger on third. 2 outs, bottom of the 6th. Here's the 1-0. High and away, 2 balls, no strikes. Two and 0 the count. To Cooper Bowman. Here's the 2-0. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes to Bowman. He's a pitch away from knocking in another run by virtue of the base on balls. Here is the 3-0. Called strike at his knees. It's 3-1. Floro's been throwing straight fastballs here. Just trying to overpower Bowman. 3 balls and a strike the count. And here it comes to Bowman. Pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to shallow right. 3 gentlemen converge. Coming in from second was Solis, and he slipped, and the right fielder could make the play. 2 runs come in to score, and Bowman is going to advance to second. It's a bloop RBI single that knocked in 2 runs. Bowman advances to second on the throw, and the Hardhats now have a 6-3 lead. Bachman over to third. King and Messenger come in to score. And now Julian Dodrill has allowed a run, and the final count for the starter, Clayton Hall, goes to 5 runs allowed, 4 earned. Here comes Jack Sorensen looking for his first hit. 2 men in scoring position with 2 outs. He struck out 3 times. And his first pitch is a fastball low, 1-0. Hall ended with 7 strikeouts in his start, and Sorensen represented 1, 3, and 6. Rain still coming down. 1-0 is ripped foul, third base side. And the count evens at a ball and a strike now for Sorensen. If Sorensen's retired, Minor, Beard, and Flores are slated to hit for the Volunteers in the top of the 7th. If not, Jace Caldwell patiently waits to be the 9th man up in this inning. 1-1 pitch. Off the end of his bat. What are the odds of that? Twice in the same inning, the ball is fouled off the butt end of the bat. Sorensen looks like he's in a little bit of pain. And Coach Torvey and Christina, the trainer, will come over and have a quick look. Ball and 2 strikes his count. He has second and third occupied by Bowman and Bachman, respectively. Hardhats have a 6-3 lead here in the bottom of the 6th with 2 outs. Here's the inning summary so far. Holden Jackson led off with a backwards K in the book. Zach Sumption, Matt Hegre, and Mason Messenger and Connor King all walked. Sumption, Messenger, and King came in to score. Bachman reached on a 5-3 fielder's choice. Cooper Bowman hit a 2-run RBI bloop single into shallow right that fell in between a trio of gentlemen coming in from first, second, and right to field it. And that's where we are with Sorensen at a ball and 2 strikes. Men on second and third. Hardhats came in tied at 3. They have since played at 3 to take the lead. 1-2 to Sorensen. Swung on balls, lined into center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. 1 run's going to come in and score. Bowman gets the green light. He rounds third. He's going to come in to score. Sorensen may have 3 Ks, but he gets his first hit of the ball game. A 2-run RBI single, and the Hardhats now have an 8-3 lead with 2 outs and a man on first here in the bottom of the 6th. And now here comes Jace Caldwell, the 9th man up in the inning. The Hardhats have officially batted through the order here in the 6th. First pitch. Swung on, the ball's ripped right in front of the Hardhats dugout. Hit the deck for cover there. 0-1 the count to Caldwell. Caldwell's 0 for 2 with a walk, a ground out, and a fly out to center field. Sorensen leads off for first with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Hardhats now up 5. Check to first isn't there in time, and Sorensen's back safe. If Caldwell keeps the inning going, then the gentleman that started the inning, Holden Jackson's in the on-deck circle. Rain still coming down here at the Fitz. 0-1 pitch, ripped up the middle, and Solis makes the stop at second, and he gets the stop at the bag for the out. Are you kidding me? Jack Solis, what an outstanding play that was to end the inning. That was a well-hit ball by Jace Caldwell. And somehow, Solis came up with a great start. There were 5 runs scored in the inning for the Hardhats on just 2 hits. No errors charged to Merced. And there was 1 man left on base. Take a quick breather and be right back with the top of the 7th here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. Post 22 Hardhats baseball here on ESPN Rapid City is presented by Courtesy Subaru, by Shields, Qdoba Mexican Eats, Renewal by Anderson, Sicky's Garage Burgers and Brews, the Mustang Disaster Cleanup, and the Man Salon. Post 22 now has a commanding 8-3 lead over Merced, California after a 5 spot was put up in the bottom of the 6th. Tad Sherbinsky's back on the mound here in the top of the 7th. He'll take on Petey Miner, who fouls off his first pitch. Fighting through the rain. They'll start off 0-1. Miner had his at-bat interrupted. There was a first and second double steal put on, and the runner, Jack Solis, was thrown out stealing third. That ended the inning, and he looks at ball 1 high and inside to even up at a ball and a strike. Miner's 1 for 3 with a strikeout, an RBI single, and a ground out to third. Here's his 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. That was a half swing. Jammed inside, 1-2. Miner, Beard, and Flores slated to hit here in the top of the 7th. 1-2 pitch. Swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to left. Holden Jackson comes back towards the warning track, settles underneath it, fights the rain, and he makes the catch for out number 1. You know, his hard hat dropped on the field, and I could have sworn that he had dropped the ball along with dropping his hard hat trying to field it. So I had to wait, and then he nonchalantly threw the ball into Cooper Bowman. 1 up, 1 down for the Hardhats on defense brings us to the switch hitter, Daniel Beard. Beard just got his first hit the last time he was up and is 1 for 3. He looks at a first pitch strike. Called right at his belt. 0-1 to Beard. He's also grounded into a double play and grounded out to first. Fouls off his next pitch to the meshing behind home plate, and quickly Beard is in an 0-2 hole. No balls, 2 strikes the count. And Trubinsky deals. Breaking ball high and away, and the count goes to 1-2. And the 1-2 is high and away. 2-2 now the count. Trubinsky looking for that third strikeout. Here comes a 2-2 to Beard. Swung on, ball's fouled again. Count holds at 2-2. Rain's still coming down. Yogi Milslegel, though, has not decided to stop the game, which is good for us, trying to make sure we complete this game. How long this rain will last, we don't know. How long Yogi's patience for the elements will last, we don't know. That's what makes this game exciting. Here's the 2-2. Swung on, ball's lined by Bachman and into left for a base hit. It was hit up the left side of the infield past third. And so Beard, 2 hits in a row and as many at-bats. 2 for 4 now. 1 out single puts him on. That brings up Joe Flores. Flores on the ball game is 1 for 2. A walk, a run scored, an RBI single, a stolen base, and a pop out to short. Double play ends the inning for the Hardhats. Sherbinsky to throw his 61st pitch in relief of Zach Cholis, who went the first 3 innings of the ballgame. First pitch. Swung on, ball's ripped foul. First base side out of play. 0-1. Caden Floro, the DH turned pitcher, is on deck, and he will keep hitting. They need the lefty on righty matchup now. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, balls ripped right up the middle and into center by a diving Bowman for a base hit. King comes into field. Does he get the throw to second? No, he almost did, though. Awfully close. That's a base hit up the middle for Flores. Back-to-back one-out singles. Moves Beard to second in scoring position. That's going to bring up Caden Floro, the pitcher. Schmidt comes out to Sherbinski and has a quick word. They want a new baseball, too. And they get it. Both of them discussing this next at-bat. Floro, he is the left-handed hitting DH. So a big matchup here. Double play still ends the inning. There's a force at every bag, too. First and second with one out here in the top of the 7th. Hardhats with an 8-3 lead, looking to keep it that way. First pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air. Third base side, foul territory. Bachman's looking for it at the fence, and he will not make the catch. That ball changed direction on him at the last second. He had to fight the rain, too. Nearly came up with it. No balls and a strike the count here to Floro. That would have been a key second out. But it would have been a tough play, too, because both Bowman was over there to try and help out. There was nobody really at the bag unless Sherbinski covered. So there would have been a reason for Beard at second to take off. And then subsequently Flores on first. 0-1 the count to Caden Floro. Here's the 0-1. Swung on, balls hit high in the air to right center field. On the run is King, and he's able to make the catch for out number 2. Tagging up at second, heading to third is Beard, and Messenger's going to make the smart play, hang on to the ball and carry it in himself. He doesn't want an errant throw to mess anything up. Nice play for Connor King. 2 down now with men on the corners. And that's going to bring up Daniel Ureste, the first baseman. Ureste is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, a walk, and a pop out to first in foul territory. Men 90 feet to his left and right. Sherbinski's going to gut it out and keep going. Rain's coming down. Yogi hasn't stopped the game. We're going to play on. 8-3 the Hardhats lead here in the top of the 7th. 1 out away from transitioning to offense. And the first pitch to Ureste is low and away for ball 1. 1-0 the count here to Ureste. 2 outs and men on the corners. Top of the 7th, the Hardhats are up 5. Sherbinski from the stretch, 1-0. Called strike at his belt. And the count evens up at 1-1. Rain sounds like it's coming down harder. Still no sign of stopping the game. 1-1, misses low. Schmidt gets the block, and everybody will stay on their respective bases at first and third. 2-1 now to Daniel Ureste. Two balls and a strike the count. And the pitch. Swung on, ball's hit high in the air to center field. Connor King backtracking, he's on the run. Ball's over his head. One run's going to come in to score. Rounding second, heading to third on the play is Flores. He's going to come home, and the throw home is airmailed. And it comes to Sherbinski backing up the catcher Ryan Schmidt. A 2-run RBI double for Daniel Ureste. And Merced is now within 3 runs. It's 8-5, post 22. Beard comes in to score, and Flores comes in all the way from first. Rain playing a factor here. Hardhats have to get through the inning, and I wouldn't be surprised after this half inning if Yogi stopped the game. Sherbinski threw over to first. They say that he didn't tag, even though it was a line drive. Maybe that he didn't touch the base was what they were trying to say. So now it's a man on second with 2 outs. Top of the 7th. Merced's played at 2 and now trail 8-5. First pitch, a called strike to Grant Deal, the catcher. 0-1. Deal's 2 for 3. 2 singles. He's knocked in a run. 0-1 pitch. Called strike, a fastball on the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Deal didn't like the call, and he is arguing it with Yogi, but immediately his argument came to an end. No balls, 2 strikes. Yogi Milslegel calling the balls and strikes. 0-2. Sherbinski deals. Swung on, and it's missed. Strike 3. Schmidt comes back to field it behind home plate. He's going to eat the ball. And Deal advances on the strikeout. It's strikeout number 3 for Sherbinski, but it doesn't end the ball game, the inning, I mean. Uresti takes off for third. So it's men on the corners once again. And that is going to bring up John Trujillo to come in for Robert White. John Trujillo is now going to come up against Tad Sherbinski. We're trying to maintain the mound here. Seems that Sherbinski's having some trouble on the mound. So they're going to try and fix up some of it. Big moment here for the Hardhats. They had an 8-3 lead coming into the inning. They put up a 5 spot in the bottom of the 6th. But now Merced has played it 2 more. It's now 1st and 3rd. 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. And it's an 8-3 lead. Our public address announcer is announcing tomorrow's schedule, so while we're fixing up the field, we'll give it to you here. There's going to be 4 games tomorrow. Rocky Mountain and Premier West will play the game they were supposed to play today that was postponed due to rain. They will play at 9 a.m., a 7-inning game. They had just started. They were 1 out into the game, and then they called it. Delayed for a while. They didn't want to miss the Hardhats game, so they just postponed theirs. First pitch to Trujillo, a called strike from Sherbinski. It's 0-1. Trujillo with the bend on the corners and 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. After that, Merced will take on Premier West at 11, Missoula and Rocky Mountain at 3. The Hardhats against 2-0 Terre Haute at 7. Trujillo looks at a pitch high and away, and it's 1-1. Terre Haute won 10-8 earlier today against the Missoula Mavericks, and yesterday beat Premier West 9-6. Ball and a strike the count. And Sherbinski's 1-1, swung on and missed. Pitch outside the zone, 1-2 now to Trujillo. Men on the corners for him and 2 outs. Sherbinski trying to get out of the inning. And the pitch is swung on. Ball's hit high in the air to shallow left center, and King makes the catch sliding. And that is going to end the threat and the inning. 2 runs were scored for Merced on 3 hits. No errors were charged to the Hardhats. There were men left on the corners. We played 6.5 innings of baseball. Everybody, get up and stretch. Be right back with the bottom of the 7th and the Hardhats leading 8-5. You're listening to Post 22 Hardhats Baseball here on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. We're back with what we hoped was going to be the bottom of the 7th. We're going to have a discussion now with both coaches and the umpires. The tarp is coming out to both the pitcher's mound and home plate. The big tarp is not coming out just yet. We're going to see what the deal is exactly, if it's a rain delay or if they're going to call this game. I had asked a question earlier, and we never really found out an answer on it, what an official game is in the American Legion. Because I think in Major League Baseball, it's 6.5 innings is an official game, or 7.5 innings. Something along those lines. Both tarps are being put on home plate and the pitcher's mound. But the big one has not come out yet. So it looks like for right now we're going to have a delay Not too sure, though, because we don't have an official word from downstairs. Post 22 has an 8-5 lead over Merced, California. We'll recap you on just exactly what happened in this ball game. Post 22 in the first inning took a 1-0 lead after Merced stranded the first run of the ball game on third. Jack Solis walked to lead off the ball game, stole second, a drop third strike that was called and out at first, advanced him to third. But three gentlemen later couldn't knock him in. So Merced stranded a man on third. We go to the bottom half of the first. Ryan Bachman reaches on an error, and then Cooper Bowman clears him with an RBI triple to give the Hardhats a 1-0 lead after 1 inning of play. We get to the second, and Merced ties it. The leadoff position in this game for Merced was huge early on in the ball game. Joe Flores walked to lead off the frame, and then a 2-out RBI single was hit by Grant Deal to tie the ball game at 1. We go to the bottom of the second, and the Hardhats reciprocated as Zach Sumption singled, stole second, reached third on an error, and then Mason Messenger knocked him in on a 2-out RBI single. That gave the Hardhats back the lead at 2-1. Back to the top of the third we go, and Zach Cholis ran into some trouble in a 32-pitch inning. He started off with 2 walks, an RBI single knocked in a run. Then the Hardhats got some help with the double play, but Merced came back with some good 2-out offense. They got another RBI single to take the lead from Joe Flores. 2 walks later, it loaded the bases, but Grant Deal flew out to right. Couldn't really blow open the scoreboard, so it was only a 3-2 lead for Merced, and how crucial did that sequence end up becoming? Hardhats were blanked in the bottom of the third. Both teams traded zeros in the fourth. Then we go to the fifth, and the Hardhats in the fifth left a man on first for Merced on defense. Came into the bottom of the fifth. Cooper Bowman doubled, stole third, and then a pass ball sent him home. And that tied the game up at 3, and then we get to the 6th inning in the bottom of the 6th, and the Hardhats batted through the lineup, and here's how the inning went. Holden Jackson led off with a backwards K in the book. Zach Sumption walked and came around to score. Ryan Schmidt walked, but then was substituted for Matt Hegre as a courtesy runner. He was thrown out at home on a force. Mason Messenger walked and scored. Connor King walked and scored. Ryan Bachman reached on a fielder's choice and scored. Cooper Bowman got his 4th hit of the ball game. It was a 2-run RBI single. He came around to score. Jack Sorensen was 0 for 3 up to this point with 3 strikeouts. He hit a 2-run RBI single and came around to score. And then Jace Caldwell grounded in a 4-6 fielder's choice to end the frame. Top of the 7th, this is where we've last left off here. The Merced Volunteers got 2 runs on 3 hits. They got back-to-back 1-out singles from Daniel Beard and Joe Flores. And then Daniel Uresti hit a 2-run RBI double to knock in both of those gentlemen and cut the Hardhats lead to 8-5, and that is where we stand right now. We are in the middle of a rain delay, and we'll try and keep you as informed as possible. For right now, we're going to send you back to ESPN normal programming, and whenever we get updates, we will briefly interrupt and let you know where the status of our ball game is tonight. You are listening to Post 22 Hardhats Baseball on ESPN Rapid City and Hardhats-TV. We'll now send you to normal ESPN programming. Folks, Mark Benetti here on ESPN Rapid City. We just got an update on the rain delay here at Floyd Fitzgerald Stadium. Post 22 taking on the Merced Volunteers out of Merced, California in day 2 of the 2018 Firecracker Tournament, the 43rd running of this tournament presented by Camping World. In speaking with our gentleman here in the press box at the Fitz, there is going to be a 20-minute rain delay here. And after that, they're going to reevaluate the situation. They'd like to try and get this game completed. We're at the bottom half of the 7th now, and according to American Legion rules, as of right now, this game is official. We had talked about it prior to sending you to normal ESPN programming that we were still wondering what was an official game at the American Legion level, and just like Major League Baseball and other levels, 6.5 innings is a complete game of baseball, or if the home team is up, 7 if not. So we are officially in an official game right now, so if they decide to call it, my guess is they would not complete this game at a later time. They would call the game. The Hardhats would get the win and go 2-0 in the tournament. They have an 8-5 lead right now over Merced, California. And as I mentioned, I think the update came about 3 minutes ago. We were going to have a 20-minute delay. So around 10:30, we should have another update for all of you. I'm going to send you now back to normal ESPN programming, and we'll keep you up to speed on what's happening in this rain delay between Merced and Post 22 with the Hardhats up 8-5, about to start the bottom of the 7th. All right, folks, once again, Mark Benetti alongside you here on ESPN Rapid City, 105.7 FM, 1340 AM. We apologize once again for the interruption of ESPN programming, but we just determined, we said earlier we were going to have a 20-minute rain delay and then assess the situation, and both teams just determined with the help of the grounds crew and the umpires that we are going to end this ball game. It is an official ball game because it's the middle of the 7th inning and the home team is up. So the Hardhats take the win over Merced 8-5 in a shortened game. And we'll go 2-0 against Terre Haute, Indiana tomorrow night, who is also 2-0, the last undefeated teams of the tournament squaring off tomorrow night. Tad Trubinsky, the pitcher of record for Post 22. He came in and pitched the last 4 innings in relief of Zach Cholas, who got the start and the no decision. 3 innings he pitched. He went 3 strikeouts and 6 walks on 78 pitches. It allowed 3 earned runs on 3 hits against Merced. Trubinsky came in after that, and he allowed 6 hits and 2 runs that were both earned in his 4 innings. Trubinsky ended up striking out 3 in the relief appearance and walked just 1 in relief. So Trubinsky did great for the Hardhats. They are officially calling this game at 10:18. It was a shortened game. And now the Hardhats will advance to a 2-0 record and take on Terre Haute, Indiana at 2-0. Rocky Mountain still at 1-0. They have to finish their game tomorrow morning at 9 in the morning. Premier West is still 0-1, and they will finish against Rocky Mountain at 9 a.m. Merced goes to 0-2, and the Missoula Mavericks are also 0-2. So Rocky Mountain and Premier West will give a win and a loss, or a win and 2 losses to one of those 2 teams. So we'll see just exactly how that transpires. Premier West and Rocky Mountain in a Colorado showdown. They were supposed to play earlier today at 3 o'clock, and instead that game got postponed to tomorrow morning. They got 1 out gone by in the top half of the first and then called it just so that they could get the Hardhats and Merced in if the weather passed over. And so the Hardhats and Merced were able to get the game in tonight, 6.5 innings worth of it, but nonetheless they got the game in, and because of the rain and the Hardhats holding on to the lead, they will take the win, improve to 32-7 and 2-0 in the 2018 Firecracker Tournament presented by Camping World. With that being said, here is tomorrow's schedule of events. Like I mentioned earlier, with Rocky Mountain and Premier West having to play their postponed game tomorrow, it'll be tomorrow at 9 a.m., and it'll be a 7-inning matchup. After that, we'll go back to the normal 9-inning format with Merced taking on Premier West at 11, and then Missoula taking on Rocky Mountain at 3 o'clock. The Hardhats will get the nightcap against Terre Haute, Indiana. The last 2 undefeated teams in pool play for the Firecracker Tournament will go head-to-head tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. We will have all the action for you here on ESPN Rapid City. Hopefully we don't get a delayed start for a 3rd day in a row. Weather's been pretty bad at this tournament these last 2 days, and now the field needs to be taken care of so it is ready to be played on for tomorrow's slate of now 4 games. Folks, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We apologize we couldn't get any of the rest of the game completed, and we had all these delays and interruptions, but we will see you tomorrow just before 7 o'clock as the Hardhats take on Terre Haute, Indiana, in the matchup of the final 2 undefeated teams in the Firecracker Tournament. Good night, and we will see you when it's July tomorrow night.